Welcome to the Swirl to Investment News Network. News by and for the Swirl to Investment community. Hope you enjoy. Okay, guys, I'm live. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay, if you're wondering why I'm dressed like this with my Stetson and looking like a cowboy tonight, okay, there's a theme to this show tonight, and but this beautiful young lady, this black woman, has done something that's amazing. And this news story I'm going to cover, it's a beautiful story. It's uplifting, and it shows that black women can go into any area and be successful. They even if it's not necessarily in their culture or how they've grown up or how they've you know anyway, they can try something new. And a lot of times, black women find out that they're successful in many different things. It's like black women bring a sweetness and inspiration to wherever they go. It's just amazing. But I'm going to show you this story. And this black woman, she she was named rodeo queen. Okay. And she's a model for Wrangler jeans, and she's in the rodeo industry and doing amazing things. And not only is she doing something she likes, but she's good at it. She's winning. She's the best at it. She's making things happen. She's following her own path. And this is a story I like to see, but anyway, but I'm going to show this video, and you guys seen the copyright disclaimer, right? Okay, we're going to use this for educational purposes, commentary, commenting, and you tell me what you think. This is a beautiful story, and I felt I had to use this on the Swirl to Investment News Network. We got to cover the sad stories that happen. And I just want to show a story that's uplifting and amazing, something that we can look at and feel good about. Okay. But anyway, let me go ahead and show the video. And like I said, I can't show it all the way through copyright issues. I got to break it down a little bit. But it's a very beautiful video. But anyway, I got two of them I'm going to show you on this young lady. All right, let me add this to the stream. Okay, what happened?
I fell in love with horses when I was 6 years old, and it just kind of stuck with me. I have a hook.
Okay, StreamYards is acting crazy, so let me go back here.
since Judea Cush was a little girl, she knew exactly what she wanted to be, a cowgirl.
I fell in love with horses when I was 6 years old, and it just kind of stuck with me. I have a hoof print on my heart.
Judea became involved in rodeo at the age of 13, doing Pony Express riding for the Arkansas 7, followed by 2 years with the old Fort Days Dandies, bringing diversity to the sport.
I remember I was nervous because the horses, of course, they go 1,000 miles an hour, how I feel. But I was ready for it.
In 2017, she was crowned Miss Rodeo Coal Hill of Arkansas on her 17th birthday. It was later confirmed that this made her the first black rodeo queen in the state.
It wasn't something that I went to that pageant that day and competed and was expecting. It was just as shocking to me as I think it is for other people, because I was just doing something I love.
While Judea loves being a part of the Western industry, she has dealt with bias throughout her career.
Okay, let me stop it right there. Gosh dang it, sorry. She's doing something she loves, right? And stereotypically, you don't see, black women, a lot of black women in the rodeo industry, even named rodeo queen. Okay, but she reached that, doing something she loves, and regardless of what people think. And it's going to explain here how, she dealt with some bias, and I think, with her being successful as she is, beautiful, probably a lot of women out there were jealous, grew up being ranchers and it was in their culture and they did it. And this young lady comes along and just a natural at it. And, I can see where there's bias and jealousy in there. But anyway, let's continue.
It comes with its trials and tribulations, and I did face, ridicule, and just, joining this industry and even being on a team with 19 other girls, it was difficult because, I'm black.
Judea says the challenges she has faced have only made her stronger.
To never allow someone to mute you.
Everything she does not give up. I'm beyond proud of her.
Judea is also a model for Wrangler jeans.
Okay, look at her. Very beautiful, right? She's also a model for Wrangler jeans. Okay. So not only is she talented, but she's beautiful. And, this is something I like to see. Someone getting out of their comfort zone and doing what they like to do, and, being successful at it. Very nice.
And other Western apparel companies, but she insists she's still just a cowgirl from the River Valley.
More than anything, just for people to know, just to do you and be you, and like I said, be yourself out loud.
In Fort Smith, Veronica Ortega, THV 11 News.
All right, a shout out to THV 11 News for bringing this story and showing an amazing young lady doing something she loves to do, and being very successful at it. I'm going to show you guys another video just in the rodeo industry doing amazing things. She's also a model too. And, I like to see black women doing things that, they love to do and getting out of that box, finding other things to do and not live into that stereotypical thing. Well, we're supposed to do this because of our color and stuff. She didn't do that. She did what she loved and she's good at it. And this is uplifting. And I wish more people could, step out of their comfort zone and do what you like. Okay. You do not have to follow a path of somebody that's got, that they think because you're a certain race, you got to do this a certain color. No, she's doing what she loves. And, being successful and very beautiful at it. And shout out to this young lady. It's amazing. This is a beautiful story. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys another video. Let me see down here. And, okay.
Like, being a rodeo queen is just being an ambassador for the sport of rodeo. You make appearances, you interact with kids, you just kind of do everything that needs to be done within the rodeo industry. You're an all-around cowgirl. So, I mean, I was just recognized as the first Black one in the state of Arkansas. I would say like my first time ever seeing a horse and my first encounter, I was like amazed. I remember thinking they're so big, but I was like, oh my goodness, like I actually get to put a seat on this big old horse and ride it. My name is Jadea Kirsch. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas. My love for horses, it started when I was about 6 years old. I was introduced to horses because I was sexually assaulted and I went through like counseling. And my counselor, I always say that she introduced me to a horse. And
okay, let me stop right there. Okay, now, okay, let me say something about this. Okay, she was, sexually abused, right? She shared that with us. And she got with horses like therapy or something, found out that's something she loves. And, it helped her out to cope with the trauma of being, sexually abused. And it led her to something that she's successful at, something that's made her successful, something that she loves to do. And it's like a blessing came out of something that's, tragic and hurtful, and you know and sometimes I believe God has a purpose where he can take something that's tragic and bring us a blessing within it. And I think that's what's happening to this young lady. And this is good to see, and the horses were therapy. She loves horses. Okay. And well, it led to many more things, right? Led to being the rodeo queen, a model for Wrangler jeans. Wow. Amazing. Let's continue.
And she told me that this is a 1,500-pound animal. And she was like, if you can control this horse, you can control anything that comes your way. She sat me in a saddle that day and she handed me the reins to my freedom. Horses are very intuitive with everything going on around them. They don't like a situation or they don't like where they're at, they're uncomfortable, they're gonna show you. And I feel like just the way that they're able to express themselves and just be so freeing and so big, but also so loving, I feel like that's where the connection really comes from. My family, they're actually like very city people. I'm kind of like the only one out of my family that rides horses. I didn't grow up on a ranch or anything like that, but it was like as quick as I could get to one, I did.
Okay, let me say this. She didn't grow up on a ranch with horses, none of that stuff, but she picked up on it. She loved it and she's good at it. Sometimes people grow up in that culture and that's like a way of life. She grew up in the city and she found love with horses, and it led her into the rodeo industry, and ended up getting a modeling deal in there, and very successful. But she wasn't raised that way. And here's the thing, and I want to say this, and I know she probably got some hate and jealousy because they're like, well, what are you doing here? This belongs to us. No, it don't. And do what you love. Step out of that box, guys. You know what? I would say to Black women, go out there and go to a rodeo. They're fun to go to. They're entertaining. And me and my wife go to rodeos all the time. We love to go to rodeos. And well, we go line dancing. My wife likes line dancing too. So, but get out of your comfort zone. Just because you grew up a certain way, just because you look a certain way, you can be what you want to be, and do explore, see what's out there. You might love it. You just don't know. That's what she did.
So everybody always wants to know what she rides. Do her mother ride? No. I like them. They pretty, they big, but no, I'm not getting on. When she first told me she was going to compete, it was like, I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked. And they do the routines with the horses. I freaked out. I used to be at the practices like, okay, other kids sit down, we gotta just focus and watch. What if she fall? What if? She fell a few times, but what she do? She got back up on her own.
For someone that doesn't know anything about rodeo queening, it's just like a Miss pageant, like a Miss USA, except we have horseback, we have horsemanship, and we go through like a horse coronation and everything like that. It's very difficult. You have to be very intuitive, not just with what's going on with the horse that you select to ride, because you don't bring your own horse, they pick it for you. But you also have to know like everything about it. Like you don't know what the judge is gonna ask you. So we go through that, and then we take a test as well. We also have interviews. You just kind of got to know everything that's going on at the rodeo. Some rodeos have themes. You need to know the theme. Like, there's a lot that entails a rodeo queen pageant. When I found out.
Okay, so she's explaining how, what it takes to be in a rodeo queen pageant. Okay, and I want to give a shout out to PBS Arkansas putting this story together. First black rodeo queen of Arkansas. Okay, very beautiful young lady. And there's a lot to it. She's got to know, a lot of things. It ain't just going up there looking beautiful, right? But anyway, let's continue.
I was first black rodeo queen. I was like, oh man, I have so much to do. If I'm one of the first, there's no way. Like, I didn't believe it for a little bit. So for me, like, that's where it became so much less about me. Like, oh my goodness, if I'm the first, like, when's the second one gonna be? And why am I the first one? Like, I remember being crowned at Coal Hill on my 17th birthday, and I remember going onto Google right after that, like, how can I find the woman that I need to look up to? Another woman that looks like me in this industry doing that. I didn't find it. It's funny to look back and realize like how far I've come and what I really just didn't know. Whenever I had first started, I wasn't the best rider. There was a couple of us that had a lot to learn, and I was one of them. But I progressively got better. Like, I progressively got really good.
Okay, stop right there. Okay, she's not just a rodeo queen, but a bronc rider. I mean, so she's actually competing too. This is amazing. Okay. I saw this story, and this was sent to me, and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is a woman that's choosing her own path. And she's not, going along like sheep, following other women in her community, doing what they do. She's doing what she wants to do. And out of a tragedy led a blessing. And, I don't think there's too many women bronc riders, but she's one of them. Usually in a rodeo, women compete in barrel racing. And go to a rodeo, see it. There's more than just bull riding. I know bull riding is the most popular thing, but I'm going to tell you, for me, when I go, team roping is my favorite because, two guys coming out and have to be in precision and timing takes a lot of skill, a lot of teamwork. I do like bull riding though, but anyway, but let's continue.
I didn't go into it having a horse. I didn't go into it having a trailer. I just had enough people around me that believed in what I wanted to do. I was working enough to be able to afford a little bit of it, not even a bunch. And so as I progressively, started having the things that I needed and started getting as good as the girls, there was so many things that just become a problem for some of the parents. And some of the hostility that I was dealing with. I was 16 years old when I first went through my racist experience in the Western industry. And I wasn't with other 16-year-old girls. This was with middle-aged adults. They were middle-aged adults treating me negatively, speaking down on me, having their kids, send me videos of me calling me different names. Like, until this day, I'm still dealing with it with the same adults. Like, the same adults that bullied me when I was 16 years old are the same adults that are trying to bully me again as a 23-year-old.
I never replied.
Okay, let me stop right there. Okay. If the video quality is crazy tonight, I apologize. They're doing some work and the internet's kind of messed up. But what I want to say is, she's talking about getting bullying and people being mean to her and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of jealousy there, okay? Because, these women have been in this, doing what she's done their whole life. It's built in their culture. And sometimes they think, well, because I grew up this way, it belongs to me. It does not. And she's coming in, she's a natural. And it's sad that there's jealousy and people that, are hating on her because she's good at it. She's beautiful. She's the total package deal, right? A rodeo queen, and she's competing in the rodeo too. And successful at it. She's a model for Wrangler jeans. Come on. I mean, there's going to be jealousy. There is. And there's probably a racial element too. You know, people are still stupid. But I think this is important, you know, to the rodeo industry, to have a black woman come in and represent, you know. And rodeos, there are black cowboys that bull ride and stuff. And, you know, there are other black women that compete like she does. Okay. She's not the only one, but it's rare. It is. It's kind of almost like hockey, right? Mostly white men do it, but there's a few black men in there. Same thing with the rodeo. They're mostly going to be white people, but you will see some black cowboys, and you will see some black cowgirls out there competing. And I think it needs to, and I think it's good that it's, you know, opening up. And I'm glad that a beautiful young lady stepping in and being successful. And this proves once again how amazing black women are, how they can be successful no matter where they go or what they do. They can jump into something that they're not familiar with and be good at it. And, you know, and I'm seeing, and we see this in different areas. Okay. And I applaud her for having the courage to do it. Okay. I'm sure as a teenage girl, when she got into it, she felt uncomfortable, kind of felt like, oh my God, what are people going to think? This is new. But I love it. But, you know, I'm getting some hate here and there, but she pushed through. And you know what? Most of the women out there ain't going to be as successful as she is. And instead of hating her, you know, be happy for her. But anyway, let's continue.
Me when I was 16 years old are the same adults that are trying to bully me again as a 23-year-old.
I never reply to the stuff on social media. And of course, everybody see the negative comments. When it comes to the racism stuff, I just open the door and close it to me. I'll look at it and keep on going.
It got so bad that we had like a mandatory meeting with the Old Fort Days Rodeo Board, and they had to come down, the chairman and all of them, and they had to speak for me in the way that I was being treated on the team and the way that I was being talked about at 16 years old. It progressively got worse to the point where, you know, I had a teammate's brother text me things, you know, nasty things, just calling me all types of stuff. Some of the situations that I went through when I was 16 and on a team with 19 other girls and dealing with the racism from their parents actually was the reason that I sold everything. And, you know, I did try to quit being a cowgirl. I did try to quit the Western industry, but like just, you know, for a whole year of not having a horse, not having a saddle, not having cowgirl boots and stuff like that, like I learned real quick, like you can't quit who you are, and nobody can take that from you either. I'm a cowgirl and
yeah, and that's right. And I'm glad she didn't quit and just not come back to it. You know, and it's disgusting that they would show her so much hate that she, you know, would want to get away from it. But as she explained, you know, it was in her. It was a part of her. She couldn't quit. She's good at it. She's meant to do this. Okay. You're going to get hate. And unfortunately, a lot of black women get hate. A lot of people are jealous of black women, especially when they rise up like this young lady. She came into the industry and owned it. Okay. She wasn't just doing it because, oh, well, that's where my heart is and I'm having fun. No, she was killing it. She was winning. She's the rodeo queen, for goodness sake. It's very hard to just walk into it when it ain't part of your life, your culture, or any of that thing and win. God bless this young lady. This is beautiful. This is another example of black women exceeding the standard and adapting and overcoming. Even though they got hate their way, still successful. And not only is she doing what she wants to, but she's bringing a sweet spirit to the event. She's bringing something that's very needed. Okay. And I pray to God that this young lady will have more success and live out her dream. And just, you know, I hope God blesses her with total success all the way. And this is amazing. This is beautiful. And look, you can't tell me black women aren't amazing. You can't tell me black women aren't the best group of women. They are. And I see it in many different things, you know. And I'm going to do more stories like this. Okay. And, we're going to do the negative ones too. We need to. But this is uplifting. This is beautiful. This is something you can look at. And if you're a black woman and say, you know what? All the stereotypes, all the lies, all the propaganda, this proves it wrong right here. This shows black women are leading the way. And I tell you, there's going to be a lot of jealousy, yes. And not because she's good in the rodeo industry, but I'm sure there's a lot of cowboys looking her way and saying, who is this? Yeah, very beautiful, very attractive. Anyway, let's continue.
I'm going to be a cowgirl till the end, and whether they like it or not, I'm here.
Man, look at that. Isn't she beautiful? I mean, it's amazing.
She's a go-getter. She doesn't give up on anything. She fall down, she gets back up on her own. I just feel like she's so strong-minded. Some things that she's been through, if you Googled her and kept up with her, the things she's been through, anybody else would have crumbled at her age, a young age like that. I had parents inboxing me when Jadea is having a hard time from social media, and they tell her to hold her head back up because my child is looking at her. I have grown women my age telling me that they look up to.
Oh, there she is, bronc riding. Oh my God, look at this young lady go. Amazing. She's not just a rodeo queen. She's a rodeo performer. Amazing. Look at that. Yes. God bless this young lady. This is neat. This is awesome. I love to see this. Stepping out of her comfort zone and being successful. Even though she's shown hate, she's still out there. Still winning. Amazing. You go, young lady.
Today, and I'm always telling her, you think that you're just there for your peers and people younger than you. You got grown women who look up to you, so keep doing what you're doing. No matter who try to step on you, dust yourself off and get back up.
Having kids come up to you, that are inspired by what you're doing, that's where I always say what I do in this industry is so much bigger than me. It's not even about me at all. It's about the next young kid that can come up in this industry, whether it's, whether you're...
Okay, and look at this. This little girl is looking up to her. Okay? This is a beautiful thing. She's a role model too. She's showing, you know what? A black woman could walk in there and be successful. Be beautiful. And just live her life. This, I mean, this is a beautiful thing. Look, guys, this is another example of black women doing amazing things.
Black, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're anything, I just want to see more diversity in my industry. That's so important that kids see representation and that kids know that while I am this color, I'm whatever color I am, or whatever complexion people perceive me as, it's I see someone that looks like me. It's important that kids see themselves in positions that maybe, they don't see it all the time. The knowledge that I want kids to learn and to know through animals, through Ag for Kids, it's not really that difficult. We teach kids about food, we teach them about healthy diets and being athletic. You can make it so kid-friendly. You can introduce a kid to a cow and be like, how you love that steak, how you love this, how you drink milk all the time. This is where it comes from. It's getting the kids excited about it. A lot of them just don't know. They just lack the knowledge.
I'm a very proud mother. People always say, everybody tell their kids, sky's the limit. So I tell you there, sky's not the limit because there is no limit. You keep going.
No matter what you think you're fighting for that is not important right now, you never know when everything that you're talking about is going to be important enough for you to have that platform or that voice for a group of people. And you never know when that time will come. So it's never be quiet about what you believe in. If you believe in something, stand on it and own it. And not everybody's going to believe in what you believe in. Not everybody's going to agree with what you're doing. No matter what you stand on, what you speak for, just never allow anyone to mute you.
All right, a very beautiful story. And another shout out to PBS Arkansas for putting this together. and News 11 also. Um, this is amazing. I love seeing stories like this. And look, I love seeing, you know, I think people need to get out of that box and explore different things. You might find things that you love to do. Um, she got in the rodeo industry and she probably never thought, growing up she'd be doing this. But because of her um, you know, sexual abuse case, in order to get therapy, she dealt with horses, right? Someone, you know, brought her to some horses, and she loved horses, and it just built, and then it built, and then she got in the rodeo industry, and then competing, and ended up being the rodeo queen, and this ain't an everyday thing. It's very rare that black women go into this, okay? But sometimes you'll find that something that's out there you might enjoy and not even know nothing about it. And I'm glad to see this. And like I said, there have been black people in rodeos all along. They're not the majority, of course, but they're out there. And if you get a chance to go to a rodeo, go to one. They're not just out west, okay? They're not just in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Oklahoma and Arkansas. No, they're all around the world, all around the country. They go to different cities, big cities too, all across the nation, from the East Coast to the West Coast. And if you have a chance to go, see what it's about. I bet most of you would enjoy it. It's very entertaining. It is a dangerous sport. Getting on a bull that's pissed off and riding him, and then he throws you off. He's going to come after you, and there's dangers there. You can break. People have broken bones and stuff. Even people have lost their life. Competing in rodeos and stuff, and but these guys, they're skilled. That's something they do. It's a sport, and when you see them riding a bull or bronc riding, it's not just holding on for that 8 seconds. They're judged on their form and their technique, and it's a skill. It's usually the bull riders and stuff are usually little guys. Like, I think the average size is like 5'7", 5'8". There are tall guys that do it too, but usually smaller guys have, are more successful because of the center of gravity and stuff. They get how can I say this? It helps them out more. And there's different events. There's team roping, calf roping, barrel racing, different events that go on in a rodeo, bronc riding, um, and you see the rodeo clown out there. He's not just there to entertain. He's actually there for the safety of the cowboys. Because when they fall off that bull, he's to distract the bull so the bull don't go after the guy that fell off. And, that's a dangerous animal, but I love seeing this. This young lady is beautiful. She's, I love seeing black women do amazing things, and black women are doing amazing things all over. And in this segment, this is what I wanted to cover. I wanted to show, black women being successful, adapting and overcoming, getting out of that comfort zone, following your own path, not the path of others, of society, of a culture, of a whatever. Choose your own path. Do what you love to do. Okay? There are black people in the rodeo industry, and it's a good thing. There are black people that sing country music. Do what do you? Okay? And I saw this story. I just had to throw on my Stetson and just get in this, theme, get in the vibe, um, and just my way of showing support to Black women, because I think Black women are amazing, most beautiful women on earth, most amazing. Okay, and a lot of times Black women don't get the credit they deserve. Okay, and this young lady, she probably was raked through the coals going in the rodeo industry. Okay, a lot of jealousy, probably a lot of angry Karens that say, well, that seen her successful, probably seen some cowboys checking her out, attracted to her. She's very beautiful. Um, but we shouldn't hate people because they're successful. Okay. We should be uplifting, you know, and support them. But I think Black women and anything they do bring such a beautiful spirit to it. Um, just makes it better. Really, they do. And I've said this over and over. Black women coming into different things, different industries that, don't culturally fit, but still being successful. And, why not? Um, but this is one story that I was like, and me and my wife watched those videos, and, we love seeing stuff like this, but, what do you think? Do you think it's a good thing she's doing this, following her own path, um, living her life, being happy, and then being good at it, being the best at it too? She ain't just, there because she loves doing it. There's a lot of people that are in the rodeo industry that do it because, it's their passion, and they might not be all that good at it, but they love it. And nothing wrong with that. But she's good at it. She's a natural. So hey, and I think any individual, and I'm not just talking about Black women, doing amazing. I think everybody as an individual, they need to get out of this segregated mindset, out of this thing where we have to do a certain thing or listen to a certain type of music or, do a certain type of thing. Um, do what you like, do what makes you happy. A lot of times we follow people that look like us just because that's the thing to do, but we're not really happy, are we? And a lot of times people are good at things because they love doing it. Okay. A lot of people that are, you know, good at something. They can be an athlete, they can be, whatever their career is. But the people that love doing it are usually good at it because they put their heart and soul into it. And you could see this young lady, how she put her heart and soul into this, you know? And I'm sure it was scary in the beginning and even probably to this day because there's haters, people that think she shouldn't be there because she's a Black woman and think Black people shouldn't do this. No, she's there. She loves it. She needs to be there. And I don't know about you, but Black women are very beautiful. The Black cowgirl is very attractive. Seriously. And it just shows that she's an individual that chose her way, And her mom wasn't into it. She's like, oh, yeah, the horses are beautiful, but I ain't getting on one. No, I'm not having nothing to do with it. But her daughter was like, yeah, I love this. I want to do this. But anyway, let me see here. I got the link up there. Corey, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
How you doing, Brent?
I'm doing all right. I just thought I'd throw on some new attire and get into the spirit here. And
yeah, you're looking good.
I do have a Stetson. I do dress like this, guys. I do go to rodeos. I do go to line dance. I listen to some country music. Okay, I'm not I'm not no rancher or no cowboy like that. I just, I like the culture of it. I love going to rodeos. Any chance I get, I go. My wife loves it. Um,
Mm.
and I saw this story and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This beautiful young lady is just, it's not that she just won the beauty pageant being the rodeo queen, but she's a bronc rider too. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and she loves it. You could tell the passion, and she's beautiful. She's a model. I look at some of those pictures, like, yeah, I could see that. You know,
Hmm.
and hey, this is just another example. We got these betas attacking black women, saying all these horrible, but do they look at these success stories that black women are doing all the time? Um,
I would like to find one of them women in a 40-year-old model. I'd be pretty happy.
yeah, yeah, she's too young, Corey. She's like 24,
Oh yeah, my kids are older than she is.
but you know what? With black women, you can find she'll probably that young lady will probably look the same at 50 as she does now. Black women age beautifully. They really do.
Hmm.
Yeah. And but
Hmm.
yeah, this was sent to me and I was like, man, I gotta do this story. I got to. And I
It's a
gotta
good
throw my
story.
Jetson on and just get the theme going. This is beautiful. Yeah.
Well, I rarely listen to country music. I mean, I do like Alan Jackson because it's more of old school style.
Yeah.
I don't really get into the new kind of country because it don't sound like country to me.
I don't either. I like George Strait. I love him and Kenny Rogers back in the day. I like listening to him. A lot of
Mm.
people that weren't really in the country like Kenny Rogers. Um, and
Now he
but
was a big draw when he was younger.
yeah, he was. But I still listen to some country like Blake Shelton. I like him.
Mm.
My daughter's in the country big time. Oh my God. I mean, she's she's like, she ain't a rodeo queen or nothing like that, but she could fall into something like that. I mean, she's into it. I mean, when she comes over, oh my God, she plays country all the time, which is good, but um that's not all I listen to. That's not, but I like seeing this. This was um, you know, a black woman being successful and choosing her path. And I think a lot of black women in today's world are getting out of that comfort zone and trying new things. And I know I promote interracial dating and marriage, but I don't just promote that. I promote black women being successful, and I like to highlight it because I think black women do more work than any other group of women, but get the least respect for it. How many
Well,
people
because
are
all them
covering?
white women out there are just so jealous of them.
Yeah, and you know what? When she was talking about that, I know where the hate was coming from. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I could guess pretty good. I think it was coming from these angry Karens that were jealous because she was winning, and she's beautiful, and I could see them being jealous. Not only has she not done this all her life, but she's good at it. She's beautiful. She's a model. She's a rodeo performer. She's a rodeo queen. And these angry Karens out there that grew up on the ranch and thought, dreamed of this time, and a black woman steps in and takes it. Um, but hey, that's
Mhm.
life. I mean, you
Well, see,
know,
they have a problem because a black woman stepped in and took it.
yeah. And they probably thought, well, she shouldn't even be here. Why is she here? Um, no, I'm just saying. I
Oh, I know, I get it.
but you know what was amazing? And I looked into this story. This young lady, when she was getting that hate, she addressed it. She took it up.
Mhm.
And some of these women and young girls, she went to their parents and stood up to it, says, "Hey, this is wrong." And she did, get out of it for a little bit because dealing with the hate and stuff, and that's sad. But thank God her heart was so into it. She's like, I can't get out of this. This is what I want. This is my life. And
Exactly.
and look where she's gone. And from
Well,
rodeo queen to
any
yeah, go ahead.
lady that's willing to get on a horse and ride it and get thrown in the air and land on your backside and get up and go do it again, she's not exactly somebody you want to challenge. She's gonna get right in
Yeah,
your
right.
face.
I tell you what, bronc riding, it's not as dangerous as bull riding because the horse ain't going to come after you. They put that belt around its waist. He's just kicking to try to get it off him. He's irritated, and
Yeah.
but he ain't coming after you. A bull's going to be. He's pissed. He's going to try to ram his horns into you, and
Yeah, but I've
but
seen those riders, they go 8 feet and higher in the air when they leave them horses.
yes, bronc riding, they're going to go higher than bull riding. That
They go
horse will
way
kick.
up.
They get some altitude. So I mean, it's not a safe deal. There's danger there.
Well, yeah, it's like jumping off the roof of your house all day, being on
Right.
that horse. I mean, my
I tell
God,
you,
you're airborne.
I tell you what, a horse can kick. I tell you.
I got
Yeah.
kicked across the barn by a cow one time.
Oh, did you?
I was 8 years old. I walked behind a 3-year-old bull, had his head in the stall, and I didn't even know he kicked me. Next
Yeah.
thing I know, I was into the wall, just
Wow.
that quick. I didn't even feel the impact. I was just against the wall. It's like, whoa, what happened? And then
Yeah.
my chest started hurting.
Well, I tell you, Corey, I've never dealt with the rodeo thing. I've been to many of them, and I love going to them. When I was a little kid, I think I was like 4 or 5. They put me on a calf, and it
Mm.
was like a little kid's like rodeo, and that thing threw me like I was like, oh my god, you know.
Oh yeah.
But it was like, yeah. But it's interesting the rodeo how it came to be. And they say there's like Spanish origins to it, where the Spanish ranchers would like compete, like riding a bull, touch his hat on the ground, or doing other things. I looked at some videos, and I can just imagine these ranchers, hey, talking to each other, hey, I bet you can't ride that bull. Oh no, I ain't getting on that thing. That bull's crazy. Well, you know what? I bet you this much I can do it. And it's probably, I don't know if that's how it started, but it's probably something like that. They probably were challenging, like, I dare you to do this type thing,
Well,
and
you get enough tequila enough dollars on the floor, you're gonna
yeah. Uh,
liquid bravery.
yeah, but I just, oh, you're in Oklahoma City? Okay. Yeah, amazing, but I mean rodeos are fun. They really are, but they are dangerous. Those guys, and you see, she was bronc riding, had a helmet on and stuff. It wasn't too long ago that these cowboys would just have a cowboy hat and what they're wearing and just ride. But I think
Yeah.
they're trying to get more safety conscious in this, and
I don't remember the name of the bull, but he had a nasty habit of jacking up his back end, and then he
uh
would jack up his front end right after, and basically was headbutting the bull riders and killing
ooh,
them. And then
yeah.
everybody started wearing a helmet. They retired that bull because he actually killed a guy.
Was it? Hey, was its name Red Rock or something?
I can't
Because
remember. It was like a beige colored bull,
yeah, yeah. I
and it
mean,
was
I'm
just
trying to
it was
think.
a brute.
You know that movie 8 Seconds with
Oh
Luke
yeah.
Perry that played that they did the story on that cowboy, that professional bull rider, Lane Frost was his
Hmm.
name, and he got killed in a bull riding accident. The he got bucked off, and the bull came and the horn hit him, I think, in the back, and he passed on because of it. But he was really, really good. He was a professional bull riding champion. Was it 2 or 3 times? I mean, he was very good at it, and it was a sad story, but they made a movie of it. And guys, I would suggest get the movie 8 Seconds if you haven't seen it, and watch it. It's a good movie, and it tells his story, how he got in the rodeoing, and and his dad's like a hard ass and just pushes him. It's kind of like my father, just like, but. He and it just seems like he don't appreciate what his son does, but really he loves his son. He's proud of him, but it's like he pushes him. It's a good movie, and it it tells a little bit about the rodeo life. Now it's not 100% accurate because Hollywood, but I would suggest watching that.
Well, men get mercy when they get old and they tell stories about their scars. But when they're getting their scars, they don't get no mercy.
No, yeah,
you got to wait till you get old before you get mercy.
Yeah, that was a good movie, and but if you want to know more about rodeo, look it up. Look at go to a rodeo, just see what they do, okay, and go with your friends. And black women, don't think it's weird that it's all white people and they might be crazy. They're not really. They're just people. They just love the rodeo. They just love the event. And believe it or not, there are black people that are rodeoing and into this. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's the Compton Cowboys or whatever in California. That just the black rodeo guys.
Yeah. Well, they have the Bill Pickett rodeo and stuff. And where it's black men and women competing in rodeo,
Mm-hmm.
you can check that out. And Bill Pickett was a black cowboy in the 1800s.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
he's a bull.
performer.
He
was
bulldog.
also,
He invented it.
Yeah, he invented bulldogging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got there and turned that thing right in the dirt.
Yeah, he found out a way to take it down. Down a steer, and he was a rodeo performer and actor too, and I looked into it, and yeah, but I think he actually was biracial. I think he was black, had some white, but back then, if you had any black, you were black. They didn't have biracial or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
I just got done watching a video where they talked about you could have a tremendous amount of Native American and they'd still call you white. But if you had one drop of black, they considered you black. It's like the nonsense that they were spitting back then.
Yeah,
if you got black in your family, okay, but they put so much hatred with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, back in the day, if you were, yeah, and that's interesting. You said that, but that's true. They had the one drop rule, right? If and they tried to stop interracial marriage that way, and but the thing of it is if it was Native American, because a lot of people down south white people had Native American family members, they would procreate with Native Americans, right? So they
I got Native American family members.
Yeah, we're going, okay, we're going not allow you to marry a black woman, but if she's Native American, we'll kind of let that slide. It was like, there wasn't the same standard.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's dumb. I mean,
I just got done watching the video. It's funny, this conversation came up. And they were talking about, liberals. I'll just leave it at liberal.
yeah.
But the way our country goes, the way our nation goes, is politically, racially, it always starts in the South first. And right now, the South is like a canary for our entire country. Whatever they change down there, eventually filters into the rest of our country. And people
Mhm.
down there are tired of the division.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
tired of somebody telling you, oh, you shouldn't talk to that neighbor. They're just like, no, go on with your life. I'm going to go on with mine. And they're voting more. Um, they're voting more common sense. I'll try
more
to leave the
conservative.
politics out.
Yeah, and here's the thing, down south, and look, my brother lives down south. He lives in Georgia, and
Hmm.
I go see him a lot. He lived in North Carolina for a while. Um, and when I was down there, and well, my wife's family lives in Mississippi, so
Hmm.
Mississippi and Texas, right? So when we went to Mississippi, we're seeing all kinds of interracial couples. Like, wow. And the history of Mississippi is it, a lot of evil stuff happened,
Yeah.
right? But we see it down there. I see it in Georgia. I see it in North Carolina, um, Tennessee. I mean, all the states down south, we're seeing a lot of interracial couples. And I think people are just, tired. We've been separated and segregated and all this stuff. It's like, people
Well,
are
did,
falling in love. And look, in Mississippi, there's a lot of black people and white people. And, people are saying, you know what? I don't have to live like they did
right.
in the past. I'm not part of that.
Nope.
And when people tell me, like, when we get in a racial discussion, they say, well, your ancestors were slave owners and this and that. And I'm like, well, how do you know that? My family came over in the 1800s from Ireland. But okay, let's say they are, right? That's
Yeah, but
still,
the Irish were slaves too. They were bond servants.
oh yeah. The Irish, they were
I
dogged.
mean,
They were
you
treated
could
like
open a
crap.
can of worms up talking about Irish slaves.
Oh God.
There were
Yeah,
lots of them.
there were. And you know what? Yeah. And it seems weird going back in history and seeing how Irish were treated, opposed to now we just classify white people as white people. We're white. Look at us. We don't really break it down to French, German, Italian, Irish, Scottish.
You know why?
Uh,
Because the people that used to hold that racial division are
mhm,
dying off.
mhm.
That generation is dying off, and the hatred is going with them to the grave.
Yeah, and I think it's going with black and white people too. It's going slower. I think because there's like an extreme difference you might say,
Hmm.
because white people, Irish and Italian and French, German, they look alike, right? You can't look at
I don't know.
me
They're
and
just
you,
all
Corey,
white.
and say, well, and break it down what part of Europe we come from, right?
Hmm.
Um, but with black and white people, there's a real distinction. One is light complected, one's dark. Um, and but I think eventually, and we're seeing it in younger people that are, not dealing with the nonsense and just coming together. You know what? You fall in love and she's black and you're white. Hey, do it. And nothing wrong with that. As long as you love each other and you do it the right way,
Well, you know
you
that
know.
young lady with all that beautiful melanin wearing that flannel shirt. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I know she's a kid to me, but she's still very attractive.
well, I think of it this way. Let's say, Corey, we're in the rodeo industry, right? Let
Hmm.
let's say we're into that and we're the same age in our 20s and we ride bulls or whatever we do, and we see this young lady, black woman, looking beautiful as she is, she's going to turn our heads and we're going to be like, in today's
Well,
world.
if I was at the proper age to date her, and there was another guy trying to beat me over to go talk to her, I'd trip him.
I would
I would
too.
I would I would be first. I would trip him. He'd fall down.
I would lasso his feet, tie him to the horse, and I'm like,
Nope, I'm first.
yeah. But
But now, to me, she's just a kid. But
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, but
shoot, my
I
youngest is 26.
yeah, but you know what? And look, these guys will find this so attractive. You know what? I was in my 20s, right? And this was before I got married. And I went to this country bar, right? And they were line dancing and stuff, and I was hanging out. And I saw this black woman, and she was dressed like her and just looking beautiful. And I was like, oh God, I gotta talk to her. And she was in the country music. She was just and and it was attractive, that she was just different. It wasn't the same old stereotypical thing you see. And
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, black women are beautiful no matter what. But this caught my eye, and this catches a lot of white men's eyes. And I tell black women, you know what? Go line dancing. They will be interested in you. Don't I'm serious.
Yeah,
Because you know what? You're unique. You're different. People like different. They like something new. Okay, that's very attractive. Um,
they don't have line dancing in Oregon though. This is the left coast.
oh well, I don't know what kind of I'm sure they got some kind of country club they do that at somewhere down there in Oregon. They got
Yeah, I'm not much of a cowboy though. I mean, I got designer boots that I bought, but
uh-huh.
that's but they're just dress boots. They're not for. I mean, you
Yeah,
wouldn't want to ride a horse with them.
yeah. Well, I go do my wife loves it. So we
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but I mean it's fun, something to do. And but it is attractive. It is attractive to see something different, something. And you know what? I think a lot of, black women are very beautiful. I'm the most beautiful woman on earth. But when she's different, it adds something. It's intriguing. It's like, wow. And you know what that says too? It's like you're living your life the way you want to. And I'm not saying go line dancing and get a cowboy hat, ladies, and that'll do the trick. What I'm saying is just be you. I mean, I think that's the attractive thing when people are genuine. They're just
Yeah.
being who they are. And
Well, when it comes to these white women that are jealous of black women, there's
mhm.
one thing they cannot do. I mean, they can get the BBLs, they can, make their lips bigger, they can do whatever with their hair, all that stuff, but they cannot add the melanin. They don't have a chance.
Well, there's some woman out
Oh, was
that
that
had,
chicken fried lady that's
oh yeah, she had some kind of injections that turned her skin dark.
uh,
Yeah,
that's
oh
just
my
messed
god.
up.
Yeah, it is. You can't,
It's just
well,
messed up.
that just proves you can't be something you're not. If you're, you can't change the color of your skin. Well, you can dye it, I guess. You can change it, but you still are you. You still are you. I mean, just like we can't change men into women or women into men. I mean, we could do surgeries and
Ah,
mess with it like that, but they're still who they are.
you know
And I
what's
know I'm
crazy
gonna get
though? I
what's that?
I I still get hit on. The latest one was a married woman,
Mhm,
and I told her, I said, I only date black women, and I don't have premarital sex.
mhm.
This lady, she's like almost 60, and she started shaking her butt and singing that song, I like big butts and I cannot lie,
What was
like
this?
a child.
This was a
This
white
is a
woman that
grand,
did it?
this is a married white woman, pushing 60 years old, and just lost her mind right in
Yeah,
front of a bunch of people
yeah.
because I said, crazy. Mm.
And you know what, ladies? That's why we open up our options. Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that. I like big butts. Really? Oh man. You know what?
No,
They
it
need
was, it was tragic. I mean, we're in public, and she goes off on this, and
wow.
she's shaking whatever she's got. She's trying to. Mm,
You know
I'm
what
just
they
sitting
need,
here looking at her like therapy, sweetheart. Therapy.
right? You know what, Corey? This is what they ought to do. Take that big butt song and Sir Mix-a-Lot. Look, if he's listening tonight, Sir Mix-a-Lot, I'm talking to you. You need to change that song. This is going to resurrect your career. Instead of saying you like big butts, say you like big Becky's. Okay? I like big Becky's and I cannot lie. I think
Uh,
brothers can't deny. I
well,
mean, seriously.
I
It,
thought
it,
I thought I had a down pat, way of getting rid of a white woman. Is I
uh-huh.
only date black women, and I do not have premarital sex.
Yeah.
And she just lost her little mind.
Oh man, I wish I was there to see it. And I would have said,
Bleach
you know what?
blonde, bleach blonde, grandma, just brain left, or was never there. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Mm.
well, you know what they say about blondes. Yeah. Anyway, but I think you know what, Sir Mix-a-Lot. It would be a funny song. I like Big Becky's, and I cannot lie. And you can change the lyrics around and say 36, 48, 95. Yeah, you ain't
Oh,
got no curves, but I don't know. I'm just, but I it would have been funny if Weird Al Yankovic did a video on that and said, "I like Big Becky's," and just think about the video. You see these huge black women, obese, dancing around, and okay, that's scary.
I don't even
But
know if Dankovic is still making music or not.
no, but that would have been a funny one. And
Oh
back
yeah.
in the 80s and 90s, he could get away with it because people weren't so sensitive about stuff like that.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
oh, Dave Chappelle, look, he should do a skit on that. Oh my God. I like Big Becky's and I can't. Oh my, look, I'm giving free content. Um, you know
You
what?
know,
Just
you got to change it a little bit because it's
yeah.
Becky. You need to say, "I like flatback Becky's," and I cannot lie.
Oh man, we're going to get hate from the
I
Beckys.
know.
Becky, I love you. Don't go in on me. You're not my preference, but I still love you. But anyway,
Ugh.
um, I just I mean that would be hilarious. That would save Sir Mix-a-Lot's career if he would do that. I know it'd be controversial. It would be a funny song. It would be something people would laugh at. And look, I think there's enough Beckys that would just be like, okay, whatever. Yeah, make fun of us. Um, I don't
Well,
know.
the Beckys don't mind so much if you make songs about black women's bodies, but it's the moment you make a song about
Yeah,
their
I'm
body.
probably wrong. They would lose
Oh,
their mind, just like they did on TikTok when black women were I don't they were doing something like sharing their videos and white women were having, oh well, that's racist, and I was like, oh my God, really?
well, Malcolm X even said the worst person in our country is a white liberal.
Oh God,
I'll
yes,
say it. I mean, I'm
yes
quoting
he
Malcolm
did.
X.
Oh my God, I need to show those. He did,
Oh man.
but you know
I
what?
don't. He's not wrong.
He's right because they come as your friend. They're like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Oh
It's like
yeah,
a
I'm down
smiling
for the
snake.
cause, and then they exploit you for their own political agenda. Uh,
Yeah, he said they're the most deceptive is the white liberal
they
in
are,
in our country. He said
yeah,
specifically our country.
and not to say that they're all like that, but yeah, a lot of them are, and a lot of them use that, that race hustle politics stuff.
Uh, well, It takes a lot of energy to stay in that mindset. I think people have just grown tired.
Yeah.
And that's why in the South, my neighbor is my neighbor. Their color is irrelevant. My neighbor is my neighbor.
Mm.
And anybody that brings up this division stuff is like, no, you just go on with your hatred. My neighbor's my neighbor. We're cool. They got nothing to do
Yeah.
with the color of their skin.
I just, you know what? I'm living a life like I'm living my best life with my wife. And I'm just like, and I remember the people that said, your marriage won't work. I'm just like, it just like, yeah, what are you going to say now? You've been through 4 divorces and you still can't find
Wow.
nothing. But I made the bad decision, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
so different, it
Mm.
wouldn't work. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm still married. How about you? 3, 4 times? Look, I went to a high school reunion and we're older now and it's like, I remember my friends when I was dating Sandy after high school, they're like, "You're still married?" Well, yeah. Wow. I guess you were right and we were wrong. You're damn right.
So you don't get any more hatred from that group?
No, you know what? Um, it's a different world. Usually, um, I've seen people that I've had friends that thought I was crazy for being into black women like I was as a teenager. And I know I got a couple friends that told me that are dating black women now. It's like,
Hmm.
what? You told me I was crazy. You came to your senses. You found out who was the best option.
They just
I
had
knew
to
it way
grow up.
before you did. I was ahead of my time. I knew black
Yep.
women was the best option back in 1974. Yeah, I was 5 years old then, but you know what? That's when I gave my heart to black women, and you know what? It's so true. I
Hmm.
mean, from that day forward, and you know what? My parents, they knew I was going to marry a black woman even before I started dating, and they
Hmm.
tell me that to this day. They said, you know what? And we're okay with it as long as you found one that loved you. And I did.
Akita says, I wasn't born yet, honey.
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, yeah. That shows how old I am. Look, I was
Actually,
born in.
I had my heart stole in 1979 by a cute black girl.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a
I.
couple years after you.
Oh, okay. Well, I gave my heart in '74. And that was to my babysitter. And I mean, I love this young lady. And my mom was like, and I talked to her because I live with my father, right? But I'd go see my mom on holidays in the summer, um, and she would. There was a black family that lived in. My grandfather owned some properties and stuff he rented out, and there was a black family. They were real nice, and you know I would play with. They had boys like about my age I'd play with, but they had an older sister. She was 17, and she would babysit me, and my mom would pay her a few bucks. And I asked my mom about her. I said, "Do you remember?" She says, "Yeah, you were a mess when you were little. You were always in trouble. You were always hyper. I used to roll Coke bottles down my grandfather's stairs into the basement that had a cement floor and watch them break. And I would do crazy stuff.
Wow.
And but she said, but when I took you over and she watched you, you were in your best behavior. You were good. You didn't get into trouble. And you know what it was? It was just that I was so infatuated with her. And you know what the secret was? How she won my heart? She gave me
Hmm.
candy and called me big guy. Oh my
Hmm.
god! You know what I said? Okay, here's my heart. I love you. Like it was, and you know what? Back in the day, I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'9", right? I could probably. I'm like almost the right size for bull riding, right? I never did it, but um, But when I was little, I was really little. And,
Mm,
calling me big guy meant a lot
mm,
because I was like, I want to be big. But, that's just memories I'll never forget. And you know
mhm.
what? Black women have an amazing way of showing you love. And I've experienced that from a boy growing up to a teenager to a man. Black women are amazing. And look, I've talked to black women, since I've done this channel. I've talked to black women in their 20s and black women all the way in their 70s. And amazing thing is these women are kind, they have a big heart, and they're amazing. There's something about black women that sets them apart from all other groups of women.
I
There's
think it's
no
because of the pressure they grow up in.
it could maybe it's the culture, the pressure, maybe I just think they just have a sweet spirit about them. And I just think they're the most loving group of women on earth. And when
Mm,
a black woman loves you, you will never experience a love like that. And that's why a lot of times white men and other non-black men, when they have a relationship with a black woman and they really experience that love, they're not going to want to date or marry any other group of women. And that's the fact. And I'm not just saying that. My whole life, and people say, they think I'm weird because I've dated black women exclusive. They say, well, there's like a fetish vibe about that. What you're not like what? No, it's just that's where my
how
heart
does a
is.
how is a
No, that's what
preference a
they
fetish?
say.
I know, but a preference is not a fetish.
No,
Ugh.
but but you know what I mean. It's like people try to find something wrong with anything, and I've said this too. I said, you know what? I've told white men, you're better off dating a divested black woman than a swirling black woman because the divested black woman's she's already set, she's done, and she will be more loyal to you. I believe that. A swirler, she
Mhm,
can be attracted to you, but in that same mindset to where I've seen women attack the men they're dating, white men or non-black men, caping for black men, even to the men they're married with. And when you're married, you don't need that. The When you're married, you're into each other, and nothing should tear you apart. You should be all in. And look, when it came to black women, and I'm in a relationship, I was always all in, 100%. I that's who I love. That's who my heart was with. So why would I just? I can't understand this concept where I'm just supposed to just be attracted to women and whoever I bump into, that's okay, no preference. It's really not that way in life. I know there's men that will date anybody and they find a good woman, that's great. I'm not that way. I'm very biased. I'm very particular on who I date, who I marry, and black women. It's it. That's who I wanted to be with. That's who I have love for. That's who has my heart. That's the only one that can break my heart. And I tell people that, and they say, "Well, that's weird. You shouldn't be like that." Why not? Why? I can't. I can't. And I've even been in arguments with people about this. And it's like I'm just supposed to just not have a preference and just either have a white woman as a preference and accidentally date a black woman and it happens as I'm bumping into the wall. I mean, come on. Look, I'm very
mhm,
deliberate in what I do. When I dated, it was black women or nothing. And you know what? I seeked out black women, even though I live in a state where the black population is 2 to 3%. I could find a black woman. I had no problem finding one. And you know what? If she turned me down, I went to the next one because that's the best option. Just saying.
Well, you know, when I said that black women, I believe that they're formed under a different type of pressure than, say, Becky or Karen,
Yeah.
because a diamond, something of great value like a diamond, is formed under tremendous pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's set in the proper surroundings, like, say, gold or platinum or something, that's when it shines. It just needs the right atmosphere.
Yeah. And Becky's and Karen's are still cold because they haven't had pressure.
You know, you're not wrong with that princess mentality.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just woof.
And you know what? I think that's why our relationships work better, black women, white men, because we actually appreciate each other. Because our counterparts kind of dog us out. They do, right? White men put white women on such a pedestal, and white women will check white men in a heartbeat. It's crazy. They'll eat, and black women put the black man on a pedestal too, and it's like, but when we come together, it's like it's almost something new. Wow, she's showing me love. She's doing this, and black woman saying, "Dang, he's providing. He's actually paying the bills and loving me, and he's." And it's like, wow, this is something new. This is great.
You know what gets me though? When I hear, I mean, because I do go places where it's kind of like a manosphere or attitude atmosphere. And
Yeah.
when I hear these guys talking about, like, they should have the ground worship that they walk on because they pay the bills, it's like, that is the basic necessity of life. And you want praise, like, you know, because
Yeah.
I like this one saying, a good man takes care of his family. That means paying the damn bills.
Yeah. It's
That's
the
a
basic.
basic necessity. Okay, so a good man takes care of his family. A great man takes care of the entire village.
Mhm.
So they want they want the praise that the guy taking care of the village when they're actually begging or whatever you call it to get that type of, I don't know. I struggle with it. I really
Yeah.
do.
Hey, Corey, guess what, bro? I've lost 25 pounds and I'm going strong, brother. I, I'm I'm
Awesome.
I'm feeling victory. My weight. I had this old lady at work in her 60s that said I look fine. Now, I'm like, eh, I'm just, you know, the younger women don't say that at all. But no, but all seriousness, is, you know what? People have been telling me, man, you look different. You're a different person. It's,
Hmm.
you know, I've had to go and buy new clothes because my pants fall off now. Um,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
and what I did is I got away from fried foods and sodas. Get away from sodas, guys.
Oh, the salt
Oh
water is
my God.
terrible. Salt
And
water is horrible.
yeah, and I had a habit. I would drink a Coke or something, you know, at lunch and a couple at work. And I'm just like, I stopped doing that. And I stopped eating fried food. Well, I still, if I eat fried food, it's at dinner. So I've got it down to that. But, you know, at work, I take my lunch. I don't buy my lunch. Hamburgers is out the window. No pizza, um,
Yeah, it's
no
too much
fried
salt.
chicken. I love fried chicken, but I stay away from it. I'm eating tuna. I'm eating salads more. My body feels better. My cholesterol's went down. My numbers are looking good for probably the first time in my life. It's the doctor's like, "Wow, what did you do?" I says, "Well, I stopped drinking sodas and fried foods." He says, "Well, keep doing what you're doing." Um,
Hmm.
and my wife cheers me on. She's like, "Yeah, yeah, you're looking good. You look," but she's my wife. She's going to tell me I look good whether I do or not. So I can't really gauge that. You know, she loves me enough to lie to me. So, but I mean, Corey, I tell you, brother, it's I'm just feeling good. I'm experiencing some victory in my life, and it's tough. Look, I have cravings for food I used to eat. It's an everyday thing,
Oh,
but
you know that when you're losing weight and you get those cravings, that's when you know you're actually losing weight because your body is complaining, saying, "No, I want to stay where I'm at because I'm comfortable." And it's like, but on the inside, you're like, "Look, my," you're telling your body this. You work
uh-huh.
for me. I live inside of you. You work for me.
Yeah,
You do what I tell you to do. I mean,
yeah,
because every time you get those weird cravings, you're just like, I know I'm losing weight.
yeah. But you know what? It's not as bad as at first. It's getting better. I'm getting used to it. I I think what you got to do is change your way of life because you can't
It's a
just
lifestyle. Yeah.
yeah, you can't just stop.
That's why I don't call it a diet
Yeah,
because
and
it's a
and I
lifestyle
don't
change.
and I don't want to get to where I'm just eating a certain food and this and that. I want it to be a natural thing.
Mhm.
I want it to be like I just eat the good food and just do it. Um,
Well, when you get down to where you're comfortable, you can, eat something that's outside of your routine,
mhm.
but don't live on it, because you'll know
No,
the difference. And the more you get used to your new lifestyle, you're there. And especially the older we get, men need to retain our muscle mass, and we need more protein than we need carbs.
yeah, and look, I want to, and I've been working out too, trying to get my muscle tone because I don't want to be flabby, skinny. You know how some people get. I don't think I'll be that bad because I'm not
Yeah, they call that
morbidly
skinny
obese or nothing
fat.
like that.
They call that
Yeah,
skinny fat because everything's loose.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I'll run into that. I haven't yet, but I'm toning up my muscle because I want to, and I'm putting a lot of protein because you got to still have that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, but sugars. I'm working on getting rid of sugar. Sodas, that's sugar in a can right there. Um,
Liquid sugar and salt.
Not so much breads. Bread has a lot of sugar. Um, even fruit. Fruit's good for you, but it has a lot of sugar too. That can have an impact. So
Oh yeah.
I don't overdo it with that either. Um, Vegetables, you need it to clean your body. A clean body is a happy body, right? Um, but anyway, sorry, I don't mean to get off track, but I'm excited, guys. I'm feeling good and I'm happy. And oh my God, I told my wife one day, I said, you know what? I said, I got a gut and this don't look good. And she says, no, you look great. I'm like, yeah, I love you too, but I need to change this. And that's when I just started, you know what can I eliminate? And and I think just bringing your lunch, eating tuna. Tuna, look, I know that might not sound like tuna, that's good, but actually it's good for you. And I
Yeah.
don't go and put the mayonnaise and the mustard and the relish. I just eat the straight tuna. Try to get rid in salads, the salad dressing. And that's hard to do because you want to dump a whole bunch of ranch dressing on your salad so it tastes good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fat.
Salads don't work when you just pour the oil and fat and cream all over the top.
Yeah, you might as well just drink the bottle of salad dressing at that point.
Yeah, just put a
Because
straw
that's
on the
what
top of
you're
that
doing.
sucker and walk off with it.
Skip the salad. Just give me the bottle of salad
Yep.
dressing.
Just stab a straw down the hole and walk off.
Tuna packets. Yeah, you know what? I take a lot of tuna packets and I'll make a salad and I got a Ninja juicer and what I'll do is I'll put lettuce, carrots, cucumbers, celery, onions. I put a lot of different vegetables and I liquefy it. And when
Mm.
I'm at work during the day, I'll drink it and it actually coats your stomach. And, I've done that too. And I'll eat a little bit of tuna. I get, and some salad. And if I, and that's been working wonders. It has, but it's tough because you know what? I want to go eat a steak one day, and oh my god! And I love the barbecue. That's double jeopardy. I
See, I
mean,
never give up a barbecue. I eat meat, drink whey protein shakes, exercise, lots of
yeah,
water.
no, I don't. I haven't given up on it. I just do it a lot less. The
Um,
barbecue's the weekend. I'll put some meat on the grill, but actually that can be good too because you put it on the grill, the grease drips into the grill, and it's not
yeah.
going into your body. So that's a good thing too.
Biggest thing
That's
is
better than fried.
don't use the barbecue sauce. Just use a rub because the barbecue sauces are
Yeah,
loaded with sugar.
yeah,
They're full of sugar.
it is. Yes, and you're right. Um, I don't use a lot of steak sauce anymore. My wife seasons the meat so good. I mean, my wife's the best cook ever. I mean, she knows how to season meat and stuff. And you know what? I get the compliments because I'm out in the backyard cooking, right? Oh, you barbecue so good. Actually, it's my wife. I just burn the meat. That's all I do.
Yeah,
Cook it. She does all the work, really. She marinates it overnight, and then I just cook it the next day. Um,
yeah. You know what's crazy? I still end up having to barbecue even on my own birthday because nobody else wants to cook the steak. They want me to do it.
yeah, I do too. That's my job, though. When I cook, I cook outside, and sometimes I come home and my wife's tired. I say, you know what? I'll cook tonight, and I'll go in the backyard and barbecue something. Um, I even got a bowl where I'll cook stir fry out there too. Um,
Mm.
so we kind of trade off, and I like doing it. Um, and a lot of times I'll cook and I won't eat the meat on there. I'll do that once in a while because I try to see the red meat. I've limited it to one day a week. I don't eat it only one day, and that's when I'm cooking because it's kind of hard not to eat what you're cooking, right? But anyway, back to the subject. I'm sorry we're drifting. I'm just excited, guys. I'm happy. I'm having success with this, and I'm
Well,
just feeling good.
those country girls like barbecue too.
Well, yeah, you know.
I'm sure that lady riding that Bronco would enjoy a man who knows how to
Oh
cook
yeah,
a cook a roast or a steak the right way.
yeah. Put some brisket on there, some ribs, some. Okay, I better stop.
You got to make
You
yourself
know,
hungry. Is what you're gonna
yeah.
do.
But no, but seriously, but I've changed a lot of things I do, and
Mm.
I was just like, look, a lot of times, and this is how you tell if you're fat, right? Um, you know, people see you a different way than you see yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
And you'll be chunky and not even notice it. People notice it though. But when you start noticing and say, dang, I'm fat, you got a problem. You need to do something at that point. And that's where I got. I was like, I looked at my gut, I'm like, oh my God, this is, and I wasn't a crazy overeater and I wasn't just stuffing my face, but what it was is I was eating the wrong food. And I think that's our problem. Most of us in America, we eat the wrong stuff. It's not so much we eat too much. Well, we do eat too much, but the main problem I think is we eat the wrong stuff. And
Well,
I heard
the salt,
somebody,
sugar, and oil is very addictive.
yeah, it is because it tastes good. Look, all the bad food tastes good. Fried
Hmm.
chicken tastes very good, but
Yeah,
it's not good for you. The
not
chicken's
healthy.
good, but the grease and all the other stuff. Um, you know, but anyway, I don't want to get too much into this. I'm feeling good, and I'm having success with this, and whenever you're having success with something, it does feel good, and it's but it's a day-to-day battle. If
Hmm.
I stop tomorrow, that weight will come back, and I don't want that. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to see my grandkids as an old man. See
Absolutely.
them get married, and I want to see them graduate. I want to be there for those events.
Yep. Strong and
But
healthy and live into my 90s.
yeah, and I don't know how far I'm going to live. But if I do live a long time, I want to be healthy. I don't want to be wheelchair bound. I don't My grandfather lived to be 99 and a half. And you know what? He passed away on his feet, meaning he never had a wheelchair, he never had a walker. My
Mm-mm.
mother-in-law, she passed recently, 86, and they gave her a walker. You know what happened to that walker? We were over at her house, and I was walking, and I was at the backyard, and I seen this thing flying over the wall. It was her walker. She said, "I'm
Yeah.
not using it." The doctor
Yep.
encouraged her to use it. She never did. She
Yeah.
said, "No, I'm going to walk as long as I can walk."
Yep.
And you know what? And that's how I want to be. I, you know what? My last day on earth, I want to be able to walk. I'm just saying. Whether I'm at whatever age I am, okay? I want to spend my
Hmm.
last day on my feet. That's my goal. Um, will it happen? I don't know. Because we get diseases, things happen. We don't know. But you know
Well,
what?
since January until now, I mean, I was wearing a lot of it was getting my muscles back into shape, but I went from like a 40 down to a 32.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just because I changed my lifestyle. When I
Yeah.
was writing books every day, the writing, I'd sit there and I'd eat the dark chocolate. Just,
Mhm.
you're just sitting and you're grazing. Your
Yeah.
brain's working, but when you got palm oil and chocolate and all that other stuff they put in there, it adds up.
Right. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into the diet thing. But I just thought this story tonight, Corey, and everybody in the chat, I just thought it was a beautiful story, and I wanted to cover it. Um, that young lady, I seen something I seen in a lot of black women where
Mm,
they see something they want to do, they put their mind to it, and the sky's the limit. And I love seeing that. It just you can just see, just looking at that news report and her getting interviewed, the passion she has in it, and and she's beautiful. And you know what makes her beautiful? Just her, not just her looks, but her sweet spirit. It's like you can see that, and that's amazing. And
mhm.
she didn't live her whole life doing this thing. This is new to her, but she, did it and was successful. And you never know what you're good at. And you don't ever know what you might enjoy that you think you might not. Now, um, my friends at work, they want me to go golfing with them. They say golfing is awesome and wonderful, and I've never played golf. I look at it and I think, wow, this looks boring. Hitting the ball around, walking around the golf course. But they tell me it's not like that at all. It's enjoyable. They love it, and they must love it because they spend a lot of money doing it with the green fees and riding around the golf cart. Um, I
I
don't know.
like
What's that?
what Mark what Mark Twain said about playing golf. He said it was a beautiful walk, spoilt by a little white ball.
Yeah. But you know what? I I uh I look at it this way. Maybe it's a game that's really enjoyable and fun.
Hmm.
Maybe it's like my life. You know, if you look at my life with me and my wife and what we do and the everyday thing, you might say, "Man, that's boring." Um, but living that life, it's amazing. You know, you don't know how good it is. But if you're just watching us, there's no drama. We do our thing. We love each other. Um, and we just live our life.
Well, you
And
know
looking at
what? They're- Predictable is stable.
yeah, and if you see another couple that that are fighting, and then there's the side chicks on the side, and some dude out there, and they're fighting. People are interested in that. That's entertaining. But if you're living your life right, if you're watching us, it's boring, right? We're we love each other. We're living our life. We enjoy just watching TV together. We enjoy going sitting back porch looking at the lights in the city below. Um, we wrap ourselves in a blanket together, and I'll snuggle with my wife and we'll watch a movie. And we
Hmm.
enjoy that. Where other people say, "Man, that might be boring to them." You know what I mean? Um, but maybe that's how golf is. Maybe it looks boring, but when you're doing it, it's fun. I don't know. I'll
Well,
have to go.
anything that removes the stress removes
Yeah,
drama. It removes drama from your life because you're not stressed out.
yeah, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a stress relief. Maybe they get out there, they smell the fresh air and the fresh cut grass and hit the ball around, and it's like, I can relax now. I'm not at work. I'm not, you know,
Hmm.
But hey, I mean, I could see that. That's probably what it is. I just never did it. I have friends that do it all the time. I just never really got into it. Um, you know, I I love to go fishing and hunting though. I love that. That's my stress reliever. Um,
Well, seeing that beautiful young lady on a horse, kind of makes you think about, finding a 40-some-year-old model like that and just go,
right?
go, because I mean, I'm real close to the coast and just go over there and ride trails with horses and, something beautiful beside you. No, not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, my mother, her husband, he's well, he would be my stepfather, right? But he's in the horses. He raises horses. Well, he don't anymore because he's gotten old, but and
Mm.
that's a lot of work. But he would raise horses, and he would race them, and he would make money at it, but he spent so much money feeding the horses, and the vet bills. Horses are very expensive.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's a rich man's sport.
yeah, it is. And he's pretty well off, but he would make saddles by hand, and these saddles were beautiful. And it
Mm.
was like, I mean, you'd be amazed how much they're like in the thousands, like 5, 6 thousands for a
Oh
saddle.
yeah, handmade custom saddles. I've
Yeah,
seen
but
them go for 8 grand.
they're made very nice. They look beautiful, and that's
Yeah.
what he did. He made saddles. And he raised horses, but he's gotten old. He don't do that no more.
Hmm.
But you know, yeah. But I
Well,
mean,
Oregon, where I live, there's a lot to do as far as like a couple
mhm.
because we have high mountain lakes, we have rivers, we have the beach, we have mountains. A short drive, and you can go to what I call like a specialty bistro where they prepare gourmet food, or you can go to a movie and grab a bowl of popcorn. It we have so much influence from California and Portland and Seattle. There's our like 5-star restaurants. they only got enough seating for like 20 people.
Oh, really?
And the only way to get in there is to have a reservation
Yeah.
because they're ran by basically retired chefs.
Oh, okay.
And they close down in the wintertime. They're not open. It's just a summertime only.
Yeah. I was planning on going to Oregon or Washington to get real seafood, but I stopped eating that stuff. And just because of health reasons. I mean, I eat seafood, but I stay with like fish that have fins. I don't.
Yeah, I can't do the shellfish.
Yeah, they're bottom feeders really, and they the doctor told me
They're,
stay away from that stuff, and I think biblically we're supposed to stay away from it too.
well, because
But
they filter out the trash.
yeah, they're bottom feeders, right? Yeah,
Yeah, they filter the trash.
yeah.
Well, I'm from Alaska, so my favorite fish are red salmon,
Uh,
silvers, and kings. Those are my three favorites.
oh, okay.
The reds got the most oil. The kings come in second, and the silvers are just delicious. You can't go wrong with a silver.
Oh, Akita said, "What about doing camping?" I love camping too. Yeah. Um, my wife don't really like camping in a tent. She wants a trailer type thing or a but you know what? I kind of got
I'll
away
go.
from camping for a while because being in the army for 20 years, you camp all the time. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, well, when you're camping in the army, it's not you're not doing it for fun. You just,
Yeah.
but I mean, camping's nice. I like to go camping. I take that back. Sometimes, I'll take a hike from my house to the mountains and just camp out, and when it's warm and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
I do like camping. I like fishing. I like hunting, but I don't do it that often because I don't want to clean the deer. A lot of work. Um, but I guess I could take it to somebody and have them do it, right?
Well, if you go on a guided hunt, they do all the work.
Yeah.
You
A
just
deer
pull
takes a
the
lot of
trigger.
work to clean. A fish, you just take the knife and, real easy. Um,
I don't know. I mean, start to finish, after you pull the trigger, I could actually clean out an entire deer and be sitting down with clean hands eating dinner in an hour.
well, yeah, but I don't know.
Well, because I make my own hunting knives, so they're sharp. They, it's just, yeah.
Well, if they're real sharp, you could cut in and take all the guts out and stuff, I guess.
Oh, taking the guts out's easy. It's the taking the hide off is the long process.
Yeah.
My knife, they're so sharp. Like the brisket, the rib cage.
Uh-huh.
My knife will my knives are so sharp they'll split the brisket.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's a deer. I mean, you just push, goes right through.
Well, still, that's a lot of work. So,
A moose or an elk or a moose. Now that you don't step over a moose, you walk around it. That's a lot more work.
well, a moose, those things are mean.
Well, the ones up north are really big. There's three different sizes. I mean, it's a deer, but you know, one back leg weighs 90 pounds. I mean, you're not gonna.
Oh, is that right? I heard they're really big. I haven't seen a moose in real life. They say there's some in Colorado. I never seen one.
Well,
Um,
there's three different sizes. The ones farther south, they're the
uh,
little ones.
the little ones. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, because I live on the coast in Oregon. Our Roosevelt elk are as big as the moose in Colorado. But if you go up north,
Okay.
like in the Yukon or Alaska, no, it's like a 2 year old or a 1 year old. They're way
Yeah.
bigger up there. Big, big.
Wow.
My only thing is I want to find that cute country girl that wears flannel shirts, uh, whatever hat she wants to wear, and go show her the places I've been. That would be
Oh
fun.
man. You know what? I was looking at some of the pictures and she wears that stuff well. It's like you know,
She could wear a gunny sack and wear it well.
yeah, I mean, just the style, the different hats she wears, the clothes.
Yeah.
You know, it just she's sporting it, and it. Um, but yeah, that's amazing how she got into it, and that's how she was sexually assaulted, or I don't know,
Oh.
or but yeah, that was her therapy, and the
Mm.
story she was talking, and for therapy she was dealing with horses. She liked horses, right?
Hmm.
Um, and she got into that, and then she got into the rodeo business, right? The rodeo industry, and she learned how to ride horses and all this stuff, and she was good at it. Ended up being good at it, and then she became the rodeo queen, and she's bronc riding, and and it's something she loves doing. And then she became a model for Wrangler jeans, right? So she wears all these cowboy outfits, different hats, and you look at her and say, "Wow, that looks beautiful." And
You
I
remember
mean,
that song? You remember that song from the 70s? There's a devil in them tight fitting jeans or something like that. I
oh yeah,
can't remember.
I know what you're talking about. There's a tiger in the tight fitting jeans or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a devil in a blue dress and a tiger in those tight fitting jeans.
yeah,
Two different songs.
yeah. But I mean, I love this story. It was very beautiful, and I was like, you know what? And when I cover news stories, I want to cover more positive too. I don't want to just cover the negative. I will cover that though. Um, the last
Yeah,
story,
there's so much.
the last story I covered was a black woman that was a nurse that was abducted by her ex boyfriend and unalived, and it was sad. She was
Mm.
beautiful, successful, college educated, and then the police officer I did in Chicago, Ariana Preston was her name.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she was beautiful and successful. She's about to get her master's degree, and some teenage dusties took her out. It was sad, and we see that stuff, and this is just a story that's amazing, uplifting, you know, and there's so many stories out there of black women doing amazing things, and I'm going to look for them and cover them. And if you guys got anything of amazing thing black women are doing, send it to me. I'll do a news story on it. I found one where these teenage black girls, right, solved an algebra problem that hadn't been solved in 2,000 years. Amazing,
Wow.
right? Yes. Um, we hardly hear about these stories. Um, you
Well, you
know,
don't think those Karens with the microphones are going to brag about them, do you?
I don't. I guess there's the angry Karen in the background, maybe, but
Mm.
in this case, with this lady with the rodeo, are we really hearing about this? This is more of an Arkansas local thing. Why isn't this broadcasted across the nation? This is neat. She's adapted and overcome.
Hmm.
She stepped outside of her element and owned it. I mean,
Hmm.
she walked in and became rodeo queen. You don't just do that unless you're talented. Let me tell you. And we don't see these stories. People aren't covering it. It's like the local news does, but and even when black women are unalived, it seems like it's more of a regional thing or a local thing. It don't really hit the national news. CNN, Fox News, and all them channels aren't really covering these stories. They're
Well,
not.
a lot of that takes place happens in really liberal cities,
Hmm.
and it happens so widespread that it just gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
They've
but
accepted the chaos. It's wrong.
yeah, it's like an everyday thing. Like What? Um,
Hmm.
we saw the George Floyd thing spring out of control, right? Um, those two women I covered that were unalived for no reason. It's like, oh, okay, whatever, nothing to see here. Oh well, that's too bad. Here we go. No empathy, no compassion. Just like, oh, sorry that happened, but on my way. It's
Yeah, because
but
they're looking for scandal. They're looking for dirt. They're looking for sensational. They're they're addicted to scandal.
yeah.
The news media, if they can't get a story that they can keep changing it a little by little, but they can run with it for 6 months.
Well, yeah, and I tell you that the George Floyd thing, look, that was a cash cow for not just Black Lives Matter, but for the news media. You know how many hours of news coverage they had on that? How much money's being made?
Hmm.
I mean, it's hand over fist. They're making so much money, and it's crazy. But you see, black women, the same things happen, but it's not covered. Is it because people don't get as emotional? They get more emotional with black men than black women? I mean, I don't understand. I guess that's what it is. Or there's more controversy or more outrage. I'm just because I'm seeing these beautiful black women being deleted. And where's the protest? Where is the outrage? Where's the sadness? Where's the I mean, you see it in their families because they lost a loved one, but there's not the same energy.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
It's messed up. It is. I mean, look at who was. I mean, we see them all the time. We see accident, accidental shootings or whatever, and it's like the black woman. It's like, okay, it's too bad. Let's move along. But with the
Mm.
men, it's like we go in a frenzy. It's like the nation just loses their mind. And I'm not saying don't get upset about stuff like that, but what I'm saying is, where's the love and respect for black women? Where is it?
Well,
Me and you love black women, yes, but where's the nation? Where are the black men standing up for black women? Where are the white men standing up for black women? Where are the Asian men? I
mm.
just and look, we need to do more of this, more stories of a young lady being successful. And we need to do more stories of the horrific things happening to black women. Say, look, this ain't right. Because of George Floyd, they changed some laws, right? They defunded some police. A lot of stuff happened. What if the same energy was out there for black women? Maybe
you
some
remember
things
what
changed.
you remember what Malcolm X said about black women?
Yes. Oh, I play that video all the time. Yeah,
I
he
mean,
said
and this was back in the 60s,
yes.
and it hasn't changed yet.
No, it's gotten worse. It was actually
I,
better in the 60s when he said it.
could you imagine? I mean, mm,
Yeah, and you know what? Malcolm X, he was giving props to white men in that. He said we need to take care of women like white men do. And back in the day, look, I think that was before his pilgrimage to Mecca when he was, had a change of heart. I He would go in on white people all the time, the racism and all this, but that was one time he actually gave white men a compliment how they protect their women and said we need to do the same thing for our women. That's what he said. Um, and he's right. What are we doing?
what gets me is when you get men of any color
Uh-huh.
abusing women, and then you see men from that group. I mean, in the white community, if a white guy hurts girls or women, I mean, when I say girls, I mean underage,
Yes,
we're just ready to delete him.
we are,
We don't
and
we don't make excuses for him. He's defective.
yeah, and we're not in the community. Oh, I don't want to snitch. No, you need to freaking snitch when they're harming girls and women. You better speak up. That's not snitching. That's standing up to the evil that needs to be stood up to.
Well, men are supposed to protect the weak from bloody men, and men that do
Yeah,
that are considered bloody men in the Bible.
yeah, and we don't have no place for that. We don't need to protect them. We need to. It's crazy. It's like we protect the perpetrator instead of the victim. Almost. It's like there was a story, and I don't know if you've seen it. I'll have to look it up, but this was way back. Pink Pill did a story, and there's a young black lady that her sister was deleted, and they told her. I guess they told her not to say anything because the guy that deleted her sister would be in a white man prison and be it was ridiculous. And
And that
she was,
just, oh my God.
yeah, like they're going to protect him because the racism and all this stuff in the prison, but he deleted her sister. It's like, and she was like, F you. And she was going off and she was saying the black community, F you, F you. And she lost her sister. And in a way, they were saying that they were trying the black community was trying to protect the guy that deleted her sister. I'm like, what is going on? I'm just like,
They're literally perpetuating predation.
yeah, but I would have to search that clip, but it
That's
was a sad
terrible.
story. Yeah, and she
That's
said that
terrible.
they wanted her not, to kind of protect him because he's going to a racist white man prison. I'm like, oh my god, just like it. If I don't know, I look at it this way: if you delete somebody for no reason at all, I think you should forfeit your life if you take an innocent life. I mean, there's times if it's self defense, you're protecting you and your family. You got to do what you got to do, right?
Right.
But if you just do it to an innocent person, we can't have that.
Well, see, that's where you don't see a lot of white people that want to keep a predator in their neighborhood anywhere.
No,
They want him out.
no, and you know what, Corey? Let me tell you something, bro. I bought a house around schools. You know why? You
Yeah,
know
I
why?
got
I
you.
live by
I follow
schools
you.
because sex offenders aren't allowed to live close to schools. You
That's
know what
right.
that means? They're not in my neighborhood. You know what that means? My kids are safe. My grandkids are safe. Well,
Hmm.
they're not totally safe. We still got to protect them, right? But
Right.
that threat is not living in my neighborhood. Okay.
Hmm.
That's why I did that. And guys, listen, if you live in a certain distance to a school, sex offenders cannot, if they're a registered sex offender, they got to be a certain distance from schools, whether it be elementary, middle school, or high schools. Okay. Because these are children and it's a way to protect children. So if you live in that area, you're not going to have a lot of sex offenders around you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't want them living next to me. Um, but and there's so many of them. It's crazy.
And you know what? They're protecting them.
Yeah.
They're keeping their identity quiet, and you have to go on specific website. I mean, they've literally tried to remove the shame
Hmm.
from these animals. They don't let their shame be public unless you go into a specific website and dig it out.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
That is wrong because if you got little children, look, all my children are adults now. Okay. My youngest is 21, but I have grandkids and I don't want some weirdo seeing them playing in the front yard, and you know what I mean? Um, and we should know who they are. Um, you know what? That's when we run into problems when we protect criminals and say, "Oh, we don't want them to be shamed," and then he moves next door to you and does something to your children or grandchildren. I'm just saying, you know what? If you're that, we need to know who you are
That
for our
beautiful
safety.
young lady, that beautiful young woman, and she was, you know, whatever,
Mhm.
the rodeo queen.
Yeah,
It
I
it it blows my mind when the first time that I learned that one in three black women have been mistreated in that manner. That
um,
is just that is way too high.
yeah, and you know what's disturbing is I've had black women, okay, of all ages tell me, and not just online, but women I work with, black women, tell me what goes on with being essayed. Some are right,
Hmm.
um, and they'll say, "Well, all men do this of all races." Yes, that's true, but it seems like the numbers are higher in this group, and I think, and I'm going on a limb here. Okay, I don't have the data, but I think when you protect a group of men and do not hold them accountable, it's going to be far worse. Yeah, you got creeps in all groups that will do this stuff. But when you hold them accountable, you get less of it because there's a consequence. Okay, you touch that little girl, we're coming for you, and you're probably not going to be breathing too often. I'm just saying, your body might stop. Okay, there's
Mhm.
a consequence to this. You don't do that. But
You mean
when
like that dad in Texas and his that one guy, went after his daughter and
Mhm.
he got to him before the cops did? They never prosecuted him. He deleted that guy.
Yeah, you know what? There was a case. This happened uh, in my hometown. It was several years ago. But this man, and I don't know the racial element of it, but this man was walking, I guess taking a walk, and there was this abandoned building, right? He walked in there and he saw a grown man R-ing a child.
Yeah.
And he reacted. He took like a 2x4, split his head open, deleted the guy. He
Yeah.
just, and you know what? He wasn't charged. They considered it self defense because he was doing it to a child. And you know what? That's right. I mean, if you see some, and he acted, justice was served. You
Well, if a
know,
man acts like an animal, treat him like an animal.
yeah,
That is not hard to understand.
it's not. But there are some states that would defend that guy that was deleted.
I
Well,
would move out of the
yeah, it
state.
was wrong. He did that to the child, but he had a rough childhood. He was poor, and
I don't
he
give a
was
damn
entitled
about that
to
guy's
give him a
childhood.
hug. No, but you'll hear cases like that.
Oh yeah, I live on the left coast. I've heard a lot of them.
Yeah.
They got teachers over here that do the same thing, and them liberal teachers protect each other.
Oh yeah. But I mean, there's no excuse for harming children. We need to have swift, hard justice on that.
Mm.
You don't touch a child, and you don't. We protect children. Okay, we protect women and children. We should as men. That's what we're designed to do, guys. We're designed to work and protect women and children. Okay.
Well, yeah, men are supposed to be civilized, but when it comes time to be a monster because of something we see as wrong, it's time to flick the switch.
Yeah. It's time to go into that frenzy,
Beast mode activated.
Yeah. It's like
Beg
a shark
forgiveness
that,
later.
it's like a shark that smells blood. It's on. It's over.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Beg
But yeah,
forgiveness later.
but anyway, I don't want to drift too much into that. But yeah, she was sexually, molested or assaulted. I don't I don't know what happened. She didn't explain it, but her therapy was the horses, and it
Mm.
led to her, her career. It led to her being highly successful. And it's like out of something so evil that happened to her, it led to a blessing. And guys, a lot of times in life that can happen. Someone might do you wrong or harm you, but later on it might lead to a blessing. I'm not saying you got to
Mm.
go through horrible things to be blessed. No, I'm just saying that, she got her therapy, she found a skill, she became very successful. And, maybe it's God's way of saying, of protecting her. You went through that, here's these horses. You like horses? It clears her mind, relaxes, helps her heal, and then she finds a career.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well, could you imagine? You got them little blonde-haired princesses. They're pissed
oh
off because she's rodeo queen. They're pissed off because she's got a Wrangler contract.
yeah,
I mean, here they are thinking the world needs to lay at their feet, and this girl over here, and then, oh, all I can do is just shake my head.
yeah, and you know what? I I don't want to say I know that's what happened because I wasn't there, but I know that's what happened. There's a lot of jealous white women that see a beautiful black woman step into their element and
Oh
own it.
man, yeah.
And sometimes people say, "Well, this is our thing. What are you doing here?" Um, he
Yeah,
belongs there as much as you do. Um,
that part right there just cracks me up every time. This is our element. Like, okay, so prove your ownership.
no, I know, but people
Yeah, I
do
mean,
that.
they can't. They can't.
They can't, but they do it. They think because they were raised in that culture, that they were raised doing that it belongs to them. And that's a problem. And there's a lot of people of different ethnicities that think because it's in their culture, it only belongs to them. No, the rodeo belongs to anybody who wants to do it.
Yeah, but if you take a quick trip back into the past, you
Mhm.
find out that there were more black cowboys that were
Mhm.
settling the West than there were white cowboys.
Yes,
The
and they
black
moved.
cowboys outnumbered the white guys
And you know why they went out west?
to get away from the hatred.
Yes, and well, they still dealt with hatred and discrimination, but they were actually able to get jobs and have careers. I watched a video in Colorado when I lived in Colorado Springs. I looked in like the archives, and they were talking about black people migrating out west and going into Colorado, being like firemen, police, um, having job, being part of the society. And even though it was segregated, even though there was still, it was easier for them to live than it was on the East Coast or down south, where they were really,
No, absolutely.
limited in what they can do. There were more opportunities. Um,
Well,
you know,
that book I wrote was based on that. Black men leaving the South, taking his family, and heading west, and literally settling, settling the country, improving it.
You know what? And here's a thought here. Okay, dealing with all that, right? All the discrimination, taking your family to settle for, for more opportunities, going through all that struggle, all that pain. And then Black women are the least married.
Yeah, I just can't wrap my head around that.
Most disrespected, most harmed women. I'm dumbfounded. If you went through a struggle like that with racism and all the evil, and in today's world, the women in your community are the least married, the most out of birth rate. I don't even understand that. And you have a group of women that are the most loyal, most loving, and you totally disrespect them. I just look, and we could say not all night till the cows come home. No fun intended.
Well, I know it's not all.
But you know what? 27% of Black women are married. 73% are not. And
that's the part that gets me.
Yeah.
That only 27% are married, but then people freak out when you go and pursue a Black woman.
Yeah. They lose their mind. Like, why is she with a white man? Well, gosh, 73% are not married. Maybe he sees the treasure that you cast aside. Maybe he sees the blessing that you kicked to the curb because of your ego, because of the body count you had to have, because you had to be a player and pimp, and he wants to be a husband and father. But it's a white guy. It's got to be wrong. And look.
Basically, that story's not holding water anymore because everything about today is proving that theory wrong. That the white guy is the bad guy.
Yeah.
The bad guy comes in any color.
Yeah, he does. And what I'm saying,
an evil heart is not bound by skin color.
It's not. Akita says, what do you think Black women went through back then? Oh man, I can only imagine. Black women have been through horrible things through history. I don't even want to guess what they've been through. They've been through a lot. The only thing I could find out is if I study history and read the stories that were written down, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure they went through a lot of bad things. Black women are going through horrible things in today's world. And I can't wrap my head around it. We talk about racism, white supremacy, okay, and the evils that were done in our nation, but okay, why aren't Black women being taken care of, uplifted, married, being wives and mothers instead of babies' mamas? I mean, what is going on?
I'll tell you, with 73% of the Black female population available for marriage, hell yeah, I'm going to go get one.
and look, and I've talked about the studies. You're more successful statistically marrying a Black woman than a white woman. Your marriage will last longer. You will be happier. You will be more wealthy. Black women are leading white men to true love and marriage and wealth. Let that sink in. We're getting more wealth and more love from a Black woman than the women in our community. And we're supposed to hold all the cards and we're supposed to have all the privileges and all this stuff, but we don't until we get with a Black woman. Let that sink in. And we are the majority. Let that sink in. Seriously.
Oh, Rothy said send Brent information. You can find it on Google, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, iTunes. My publisher is Covenant Books. I mean, it's all over the place.
Oh, okay.
It's an intense story. I need to publish the last one I just wrote. It's kind of a cute young couple, but anyway, I won't go into that. But no, yeah, I mean, you figure 73% are not married.
Yeah. And,
I'm
and
pretty sure I can find one that checks all my boxes.
yeah,
I don't think it'd be hard.
and, and look, I'm going to be honest here. Marriage across the board, to be fair, sucks in all groups, but in the black community is the worst.
Mm.
Um, you know, and why are they mad when we marry a black woman? I felt that hate. Look, and the crazy thing is, it seems back when I got married in '94 that white men had a problem with me doing that. Now it seems like black men have a problem with me doing that. More so than the white men. Seriously, it's bizarre. Um,
Well, when you got a big long, what do they call that? A roster or whatever? Where they get a bunch of different women on a string.
oh yeah,
And then you convince all these women that they don't have a choice.
yeah, and that's the crazy thing. Tell them that other men don't want them, and when I did that story on Trailer Park Willie, which I think we all think he's a troll. He's just there to troll black, but yeah, and they put that out there. But here's the thing. I think what it really boils down to is black men have been spoiled for so long. And I know black men are listening saying, what the hell are you talking about? We've been, all this evil stuff's happened. But what I'm saying is they've been spoiled in a way to access to women. Okay. We're really just recently coming out of our segregated mindset. Think about it. So black men have always had access to black women because they're in their community, right? Well, after the civil rights, guess what? More black men were marrying white women. They had access to Becky now. Okay. Now they have access to Mayling, Maria, all groups of women. And you know what? White men in this time were mostly with white women. So there wasn't really that competition. Maybe for Becky, okay, because Tyrone can have a Becky now. Maybe Maria or Mailing, but white men pretty much were race loyal in that time. So black men could go in and out. And white men weren't really checking for black women. Well, they were, but it's mostly wealthy white men that could do it and have two families and pull it off. But the everyday white guy didn't have access like that. So the black man pretty much ran the table because he could, because of the way it was set up. But now it's all fair game. And you know what? You have access to Becky. Guess what? We have access to Keisha too. And we're seeing the value in black women, and we're coming for black women more and more every day. You say, well, it's just a trickle of white men. Yeah, that's how a dam breaks. A little trickle of water turns into a stream of water, busts the dam, and it's coming. But anyway,
I had a black woman. She asked a question. She goes, "How do we find a man that will not cheat, regardless of color?" And I told her, I said, "Find a man who is afraid of offending God."
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Because a man needs to be held accountable to somebody higher than the man standing next to him.
Yes.
Because we can rationalize, well, he does this, so I should be able to do that. No. We need somebody that's perfect.
Yeah,
to be accountable to.
exactly.
A
And
man that's afraid of offending God is the man you want as a husband,
yeah,
because he's more afraid of offending him than he is offending you.
exactly.
Because
Hey,
offending you would offend God.
yeah. Hey, Alexander, welcome to the show. Good to see you, bro. Um, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm just you know, I'm just relaxing until tomorrow morning and uh
Okay. Yeah, you're doing your live tomorrow.
mhm.
Hey, I when you sent me that message, I was at church when you were going live, so I couldn't participate.
it, it it's cool. I do not want to interrupt anyone who goes to church. I
Yeah,
really
no, I
don't.
know. I was just saying that's why I didn't come on. It's just I couldn't. I think the preacher would have freaked out if I started talking while he's talking. It would have
Oh,
been, yeah.
oh no. Do not offend the preacher. Don't do that. No,
No,
don't
no, he's he's telling the word of God. I don't want to offend him. Yeah, but yeah, I'll be checking you out tomorrow on your live. I will be over there. Um, I'm going to have a prayer meeting tomorrow. I'm sorry I didn't have it tonight, guys. I just had a lot going on, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'll do it after um, after Alexander's show or before. I don't know. I don't want. I look when I go live. I don't like to interfere with other people's lives, especially people that talk about the same thing. You know, in our realm, I try to you balance it out. I don't want to. I know I've clinged sometimes with people. I try not to. Um, but yeah, I'll check your schedule, Alexander, and I'll do mine in between yours. But I'll be over on your live. Um,
hey,
that last one I was on was a good live. That was a good discussion. Um, and I like your theme. I like your storytelling. That's awesome. You know. So
um hey, uh, hey, and yeah, it's funny because I learned today from one of the women that Judge Joe Brown actually has a criminal past. I didn't even know this.
oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I used to. I ain't gonna lie. I used to watch Judge Joe Brown
Yeah.
when I was a little kid, but now that I know that he has a criminal past, now I don't know what to think. And then on the live, I started to think that maybe the Dennis Sperling guy has a criminal past. I don't even, I don't even, it's gotten to the point that I don't even know, you know, what, it's gotten to a point where I don't even know, what is real in the black community anymore. I'm,
You you know Judge Joe Brown said some crazy things. I I watched him too back in the day. I thought he was just an upstanding black man that rose up the ladder, believed in justice, and yeah. I mean, you never know. I mean, didn't he say something that he was wasn't he defending Ike Turner against Tina Turner, saying that it was a bunch of crap what she was saying or something crazy. Um, how she was abused and beat up and stuff. Um,
Nobody is going to go through this life and not make a mistake.
Well, yeah, I know, but
It's impossible.
yeah.
I mean, you think about how many people go down the interstate and break the speed limit daily, willfully.
Yeah. Well, I've been guilty of that a few times.
Well, I mean, if you break it down, it's just, it's just, it depends on what you accept and what you disagree with. It just,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, some things are just outright stupid.
exactly.
I'm a guy. I'm guilty of that. But it's not like I didn't have the common sense not to do it. I just chose to ignore the common sense.
So ungodly men are prevalent on the earth.
Yeah, that was a response to me saying find a man that's afraid of offending God.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
that's your best bet. If a man or a woman, a man or woman that fears God, you're better off with them because they will do the right thing because they're held accountable. Someone that don't care, there's a lot of people walking around that only care if they get caught. I mean, seriously.
Well, if you think about what the Bible says, the the fear of the living God is the beginning of all wisdom. It's a foundational belief. If you if you can't find somebody that possesses a foundational belief, wrong person.
Yeah. Judge Mathis, yeah, I think he has a criminal past too. I think he got out of the I now don't quote me on this, but I think he was in drugs and stuff and criminal activity and he turned his life around and became a judge. Um
Hmm.
I mean, I'm okay with that. If you look, we got to have forgiveness. If you were doing wrong and you turned your life around and now you're doing right, I think there's got to be forgiveness. Um, but it depends on what it is. If you essayed or art a child, no, you're not coming back from that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're not giving you a second chance on that. I just or if you
Yeah,
delete or if you delete an innocent life, then that's we can't
yeah.
accept.
Yeah, if you want mercy, ask God.
Yeah, I mean, if you get in the drugs and you steal some things, I think we got to forgive you on that. If you turn your life around, and I think people that commit crimes like theft or stuff like that, and they do their time, I think we need to give them another chance. Um, you know, we don't have to trust them and let them in our homes, no. But when
Yeah,
it
you don't
comes
trust
to
him with your
when it
wallet.
comes to employment, we got to give them a way to provide for themselves because a lot of times in the justice system, I think that somebody robs a 7-Eleven, got a felony, and they might have done it. They're young and dumb, and they serve their time. Now they got a felony. They can't work anywhere but Taco Bell or Pizza Hut, and
Hmm.
there's no future. So a lot of
Yeah,
them turn back to crime because they can't make it. I think something needs to be done about that. And but I'm not. If you do the crime, you gotta be held accountable. Though you gotta
sure.
serve your time. You gotta pay your debt to society. I believe that. But the crime should fit the punishment, right? You know.
Well, unless you're a politician.
Well, if you're a politician, you can do whatever you want. But yeah, no, you're more right than you know, Corey. Seriously, politicians get
Well,
a lot of corruptness.
there's that old saying: if you're going to steal something, don't steal $5, steal 5 million, because they'll
Yeah,
treat you different. They'll treat
yeah.
you different.
It's like somebody robbed the 7-Eleven, get all these years, right?
Yeah,
But a white collar criminal steals millions and
they put him
goes
in Club Fed.
yeah, goes to a, you know, a country club prison where they're,
Eh,
you know, being taken care of, and you know, it's yeah, there's something wrong with that. But that's our justice system. But yeah, but I think it needs to be overhauled. I think
mhm.
in most areas we're too lenient. Um,
Well, there's mass corruption.
yes. In other areas, though, there are some areas we're too harsh. I think. Um, you know, like, you know, you rob a store, but and you get $200. Now you got 40 years in prison. And I think the reason it falls into that, because if they have a weapon, that's another thing. Um,
Yeah, but then the rich guy steals 5 million and people starve because they closed down the plant that they were working in.
yeah, and the people that
But
depended
you
on
can
that
you can
job to keep their
starve a family,
family.
but yeah, it's okay to
Yeah,
starve somebody. Yeah.
yeah. No, I get it. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
but anyway, back to the story. I wanted to show you guys. Um, and this ain't unusual. This ain't something that just one in a million thing chance it happens. Black women are doing amazing things across the board, all over this country. But we don't recognize it. We don't talk about it. Thus, we don't know about it. If we knew more about stuff like this, if we seen more stories like this, we seen more of the truth, do you think we would respect black women better as a whole, as a nation? Do you think we would have a different outlet on black women? I mean, I see the truth. Us here on the panel, we know how beautiful and amazing black women are. But I'm talking about everyday Joe six pack white guy that don't really, that's not really around white or black people, don't really know what black women are about, except what he hears from crazy Tyrone talking about her weave.
Hmm.
I'm, you know, I'm serious.
I've had white guys tell me that they thought I was crazy for wanting a black woman too.
Yeah, they,
But you know what? It's not their choice.
yeah.
I
But you know
mean,
what, Corey?
to me, they're just admitting their ignorance.
Yeah. But you know what? I've dealt with that early in my life, and you know what? There's nothing they can say to me now.
Mm-mm.
In fact, they're like, wow, you saw something we didn't. Yes, I did. Because you know what? Maybe because I wasn't raised like you. Maybe I wasn't raised to think I'm better than somebody else. Or I wasn't raised to think I need to be separated. Maybe I wasn't raised with that segregated mindset. Maybe I could see the beauty in a woman for who she is instead of who she looks like. And that's exactly what happened. And you know what? When I seen a woman's heart, her love, her character, black women stood out as the best
Mm.
option because my eyes were open and I seen people for people. And black women, I gave my heart to black women because of that, because they are the best option. They are the most loving. But the only way you see that is if your eyes are open. If
Yep.
you don't have bias, a lot of men are biased to the women in their community. I wasn't. That's why I saw the truth. Now, men will see the truth later on. They'll see how beautiful black women are later on. But a lot of times they don't see it. And that's why we're not marrying each other in droves right now, black women and white men. It's increasing every day, though. But we're still in that segregated mindset. We're still in the belief that we're better off with people that look like us instead of people that have character. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make some people mad, but no group of women has the love and character that Black women have. Becky don't, Maylene don't, Maria don't. Sorry. I just pissed off most of America just now. But that's okay, because it's the truth. And I'm not saying these women there ain't good women in these groups. There are. But Black women is the best choice, statistically. And numbers do not lie. Just saying.
Well, when Malcolm X said that Black women are the least protected, that is a pressure that these other groups of women have never felt.
Yep. And these other women do not have to uplift their men and keep their community going and work jobs and go 70-30. No other group of women has to do what Black women have to do. No other group of women goes through what Black women go through. And I'm not a Black woman, so I'm not speaking for Black, but what I look at numbers and what I see in real life, there's no other group of women that goes through what Black women do. You can't tell me there are. And if you want to challenge that, show me. Because I'll show you the truth day and night.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to challenge me, you actually have to have proof, not just emotions and opinion.
Yeah. Come with the
because
numbers.
I ain't gonna fall for that. I ain't gonna be duped by that no more. I ain't got time for that.
And come with the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
No. I don't care what color the guys are or the women are. First of all, why do people think they have the authority or the right to tell somebody else who they should choose, what their preference is? I'm blown away by that.
Well, that Dennis Swirling guy, he says, well, my preference is for you to be with your own kind. You know, that's self-love and we're all beautiful. And yeah, whatever. Your preference for me or for other men, that's silly. You don't have the right to have a preference for another man or woman.
Well, you know, according to the Bible, it says don't be unequally yoked. So if she believes, you know, see, that's the funny thing. The people that make that statement are completely discounting what the Bible talks about. We are spirit beings.
Yeah.
We live in a body. This is our hotel room. So
right.
Somebody who has a like mind like you, their skin color is irrelevant.
Yep.
That's your kind, the one that you agree with.
That's
the one you're compatible with.
Yep.
The preference of the package is just what, you know, you want because that's what you want, you know. But I just think the other statements are uneducated. I'll be nice.
Right. But and that's the truth. Who you're compatible with. Yes. And it's like, you know, the package is the package. What's inside the package? That's the prize, right? What's inside the heart? What's the character like? And you know what? Who has the biggest heart? Who's the most nurturing? You know, who's the most loving? And if you look at that, it will be the Black woman. So statistically, with the numbers, she's the best choice. So as a man, why wouldn't you choose the best option? I'm just saying. If you take out race and just, you know, go by numbers, Black women are the best option, hands down. You can't even look, and it's not an accident. these women are adapting and overcoming. These women are dealing with the least amount of resources. You know, they're the most unprotected, most disrespected, but somehow they're more successful than any other group of women. And tell me where they're not. Because I could show stat after stat after stat where Black women are leading the way above all women. And I'm not saying that because my wife's Black. No, I'm saying that because that's the truth.
Yeah, it's proven.
It is. It's there's the debate's really over because the numbers don't lie.
You know, you've been on here almost 3 hours.
Oh, have we? Sorry, I
Yeah.
had to think about a minute. Over 3 hours? Yeah, we've
No,
been on here.
almost 3 hours. 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, we've been on here a while. Sorry, I had to step out my front door for a second.
That's all right.
But seriously, Black women are the best option. Nobody can tell me different. And I can show you numbers where Black women are the best option. I could show you marriage stats. Okay. I could show you education stats. I could show you the loyalty Black women have. And I can show you stats on the children we have with Black women, how our biracial children are doing the best. And I'm seeing stats where Black women are the best option with every group of men. Think about this. And what it tells me, and I like to believe that us as white men are good men, but really what it is Black women have such amazing character. They bring out the best in all of us. And if she loves you, she gives you everything. She brings out the best in you. She'll make you a better man you ever thought you could be. If you have true love and you're connected with her.
Well, you know, those pretty eyes and the warm smile they have, that's a lot of motivation right there.
Well, just the love they give you, you know. I'm serious. But people will look at my video and say, "Man, this guy's crazy. What is he talking about?" It's because they're dumb and they don't look at stats. They don't look at reality. They're caught in their emotions. But I look at the truth. And if you look, it's not that hard to see it. I'm just saying. And why are we being silent about this? Why are we not saying this more? Why don't we talk about stats more often? And I think, yeah, and I think that if we do this, the more interracial marriages we have, the better off our country will be. Especially Black women, white men. You know why? Because the marriage rates with Black women will increase. Once you put Black women in an environment where they're provided for and protected, they can excel. The sky's the limit. They're already doing that without the protection. They're already doing that with nothing. Just think when a Black woman she's provided for, protected, and a comfortable environment with a man that loves her, and she can truly be in her femininity. Just think what she can accomplish. I'm just saying, she's already doing it with nothing. Give her a little something, see what she does.
Yeah, and her man's not stressing her out, running around cheating on her.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Having babies by other women.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all men do that. There are white men that do that too.
Yes.
There are. They're out there.
Yeah.
That's why I said find a man that's afraid of offending God.
Yes. And that's why everybody should have that option button open. Whether regardless of your race or gender, you need to have that option button open. You know why? Because we live in a corrupt world. And we need this thing of separated by race or whatever. There's only one race. It's the human race, guys. We all come
Yeah,
from the same.
we're made in God's image.
Yeah. So right now, it's not about separating ourselves, or it shouldn't be. It should be about finding the best option. If you're a man, you should want a woman that's the best option. Same thing with a woman, the man that's the best option. And you know what? He might not, that best option might not look like you, and that's okay. Whether how people look is irrelevant, really. There's attractive black and white people, okay? And there's not so attractive black and white people. It is what it is, okay?
You know, that's funny you say that because I was just thinking to myself today, there are attractive white women around me, but I'm not attracted to them.
Welcome to the club. I said this.
They are attractive, but I'm not attracted to them.
You know what, Corey? I said this in a video. I said, you know what? I will always choose a black woman, and the white woman could be a supermodel, and the black woman could be average, everyday black woman. I'll go with the black woman. And you know why? It's black women have more character, more love. I'm just saying. And I know that's an individual thing. But really, if you look at the numbers, who's loving more? Who's doing more for their husbands and families on the women's side? Black women. Serious. And you don't have to agree with me, but I see the truth. And though she don't look like me, though she didn't grow up where I do, you know what? We have more in common than we ever dreamed of. You know why? Because we're the leaders in our community. We're used to doing the work. We put our counterparts on such a big pedestal. And a lot of the time they take us for granted because they've had it so good. But when we come together and we're doing for each other, it's a whole new world then. And once you experience that, man, you'll never feel no other love. Serious. I talk about this all the time. I always knew black women were amazing. I always loved black women because I always felt the sweetness about them. From a child to a man, I always felt there's something special. There's something about black women that you can't even explain. It's a beauty that comes straight from God. And it's not an accident. And black women have these qualities in them, from young 20-year-old black women to 80-year-old black women. And I've talked to black women in all ages, and I could feel the love. I could see the beauty in them. More so than I see in any other women. Seriously. Ladies, you don't even know how precious and beautiful you are. You don't even know the treasure you are.
I was 9 years old the first time I felt it and never forgot it.
Yeah. And
9 years old. I turned 53 this summer. At 9 years old, I still remember the feeling.
You know what? Here's the crazy thing. Here's the thing. Well, it's not a crazy thing, but I remember every black woman I had a relationship with. I could feel the love, and I always had the urge to embrace her. And it's like I do with my wife, and it just, I want to be close to her. It's how can I explain it? It's it's just when you have such a treasure, I guess you get greedy and you want it for yourself. I mean, it, it's my treasure and I love it and I'm going to take care of it. I'm going, it's that's how I look at black women. It's such a treasure. Like my wife, I look at you're mine and I'm not letting you go and I'm going to embrace you. I'm going to hug you and I'm going, cherish every day on earth we have together. Um,
Just like I told you before, if I was in my 20s and I seen that young lady
mm,
riding that horse, and the guy next to me was, we both, locked eyes on her, I'd trip him. I would be the first one.
yeah, yeah, I no doubt. I mean, and you know what makes her so beautiful? From what I've seen, look, she is beautiful. She is very beautiful looking, right? She looks beautiful, but her spirit,
Yeah.
and how she talks, and you know, the love she has for the sport. That's what really enhances her beauty there too. It's the personality. It's the way she carries herself. It just makes it more beautiful. She's just naturally beautiful as a woman, yes. But, you know, her kindness, her spirit about her, it makes her just so much more beautiful. And that's what black women have. Not just the beauty they have looking at them, but their spirit, their love, the nurturing. That's what really, enhances the beauty of black women. And when you want to experience love on all cylinders, from the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, there's no other better woman to have love from than a black woman. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, the difference between the Karen or the Becky, like the
Mm,
ones that were, bullying her, they were expecting the attention, expecting the title, expecting the notoriety. And when she walked in, she took it because it was hers.
mhm.
And they were like, wait a minute, that's my position, because they literally believed, because of they've been put on such a pedestal, daddy's little princess.
Yeah,
Um, no, the world is not yours.
yeah. And I think that's the problem this young lady had as the rodeo queen, because I probably some of those women felt like, hey, I should be there. This is my area. What is this black woman doing there? But that position belongs to that black woman.
Hmm.
She's the best. She earned it. And you know what? It's hers. It was never yours. I don't care if these women grew up doing this and they lived their whole life for it. The better woman won. Seriously. And I think a lot of women can't acknowledge that or just have a problem with that. And the jealousy, Um, but it's her position. She's the rodeo queen. That's hers.
Yeah.
Until some other woman wins that title, it's hers. And she did it coming from the outside in. And the amazing thing is, she didn't live that her whole life. She just found something she liked to do, and she was a natural.
Yeah.
She just meant to do it. It's hers.
Yep.
Embrace her. Let her have it. And in a perfect world, we would celebrate her instead of being jealous of her. I'm just saying.
Hmm. Well, like I said before, I want to find one of those models, like a 40 plus year old.
Yeah.
I'm being
Well,
selfish.
I don't know if you'll find a model, Corey, but
No, I meant a model like that, a model
oh, a
like her.
model. Okay, a woman
Yeah.
like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but an older
Not,
version, not a
yeah, you
child
don't have to be
or
a
a kid.
rodeo queen, right? Just
No, she don't have to be a rodeo queen.
oh, okay. Well, I was going to say that you'll find amazing, beautiful black women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. They're out there.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you got to find them, and and once you do, you'll really feel the blessing. I know I did. My wedding day was the greatest day of my life.
Hmm.
There was no day as good as that. That was the day my wife, accepted my hand in marriage, and we never looked back.
Hmm.
I think the second best day is when she said yes to marriage. But and thank God she did. I'm better off for it. Is she better off because she married me? Well, that's up for debate, but I do love her. She's awesome and she's beautiful. But I think
Hmm.
I benefited on that deal. I won big. I won the lottery of life on that day when I got married.
I
And
think you both are blessed to find each other.
yeah, but you know what? I think I got more out of it than she did. I'm just saying.
Hmm. Well, brother, I'm gonna have to go because I have this head cold. I've been fighting this thing. It's kind of affecting my throat. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shut down soon too. Um, but it was good having you on. And Alexander, do you
yes.
want to say anything, sir? I know me and Corey kind of overtalked but
Um, well, I would have to say, black women are indeed treasures, and the thing of it, you know, black women are the most unprotected in this country, and the thing of it is, when when they're being attacked by black men, and and all the other stuff, um to me it seems like black men are actually, you know are, and now I'm not saying it's the majority of them. Is the I'm saying it's like it's the majority of them that, you know do that do this. But the thing of it is, you know it's not enough good b- black black men out there. Yeah, I mean, there is, but there is a small minority. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, black women, and I said this today, black women, uh, they have to get out their comfort zone. They really have to. It, because I know trying something new may be scary, but at the but but you have to try and expand your options and get out your comfort zone. And that's all I have to say.
very well said,
Very
Alexander.
well said.
And thanks for coming up, brother. I'll check you out in the morning. What time are you starting?
I'm thinking about starting at 9 o'clock. I'm thinking about starting.
In the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's 7 o'clock in the morning my time. Okay. All right. I'll check it out. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like 6 o'clock my time.
It is. It's real early your time, Corey. You have to watch the sunrise on the yeah. But I'll
Oh
be
no, the
there
sun's
at
coming up
Alexander.
around 5 o'clock now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be there, brother. I'll be there with you. I'll set my alarm. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. And then I will do a prayer meeting tomorrow, and maybe I'll do a video too. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. Um,
I'll probably be sleeping.
oh, okay. Um, well, that's good. It's early because then I can do the prayer meeting maybe by noon or something. That would be good. Because I don't, I had to put it off today because I had so much going on, but I don't want to get away from that. That's important. So, but anyway, um,
Well,
but did you have
thanks.
anything to say before we close, Corey?
Just thank you for having me on here. I enjoyed the conversation. You're
Okay.
looking awesome in your hat.
Oh, is it? I had to get in the spirit. I had to get in the cowboy spirit, so I had to throw on my Stetson and
Yep.
you know, be, but this is what I wear when I go line dancing or to a rodeo. So I do
There
wear
you
this
go.
stuff. You don't hardly see in my everyday dress. I don't dress like this. I
Yeah.
don't live on a ranch or nothing like that. But special occasions I will. Um,
Hmm.
and tonight's a special occasion. That
Yep.
was a beautiful news story, and I like seeing Black women do amazing things, and they do all the time.
Inspiration.
And we need to highlight stuff like this. We need to talk about. We need to
Yeah.
show this image of Black women so people see the truth. They see the successful Black woman doing it, making it happen.
Hmm.
Little Black girls see Black women achieving things. We need to show this, not just talk about it. We don't need to see these videos of talking about Black women's weave and acting crazy and all this stupid crap. We need to show the truth. We need to show a more positive image. Okay. Um, and we can go on and show negative images of anybody because we all act crazy, right?
Hmm.
But Black women are doing more amazing things than the crazy Black woman that acts like a Tiffany Haddish movie. And no disrespect to Tiffany Haddish. She plays that part, right? But we need to get away from that stereotype. That's not how Black women conduct themselves. Black women conduct themselves in a professional way. Black women are the sweetest, most spiritual women, and we need to show the truth. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going on a little rant here, but seriously, that's what we need to do. Um, and look, there's so many more stories like this. This ain't just a random thing that it's Black women are making it happen across the board, all economic levels. Okay. In all 50 states, Black women are doing amazing things.
Hmm.
And let's celebrate that. Let's show them some love. Okay.
Yep.
And all we have to do to uplift the Black woman is tell the truth. That's how you uplift them. You just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But guys, thank you for coming on. I enjoyed talking to you. Alexander, I'll see you tomorrow. Corey, thank you for coming up. Um,
Yeah. Brent, thank you for your service.
thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. But you know, but anyway, um, and I would say thank everybody for your service out there. A lot of ladies or veterans that follow this channel, and I want to say thank you for your service. And I would like to say to Black women, thank you for being your beautiful self. And look, put yourself first. Okay, You are the prize. Okay. You are that treasure amongst us. Be that treasure. Put yourself first. Make it about you. Okay. We all know black women are the most loving, most nurturing. We already know this. Black women, there's times you got to put yourself first. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Alexander and Corey, thank you guys.
Okay.
I appreciate you coming up. I had a good time talking to you.
Right.
Everybody in the chat, I appreciate you coming on. But go on YouTube and check out her story. Okay. And there's other black women that are in the rodeo industry doing amazing things. She's not the only one. Okay. So,
I wonder if she could like point me in the direction of a 40-plus-year-old.
I don't know. Maybe I could reach out to her and say, "Hey, Miss Rodeo Queen, I got a friend named Corey that wants a black woman like you that's in her 40s. Can you help us out?"
Okay, I'll quit being ornery. Good night,
Yeah.
everyone.
All right. Good night. Have a good night.
Good night, Corey. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have the live prepared for in the morning, and I'll be doing 2 lives on Monday. So I'll be
Okay.
doing 2 of them.
You're gonna do
And
one in the evening too, right?
yep,
Okay. What time's the evening one? Because I don't want to clash with your live. I don't want to go live when you go live.
I think I would start at least the 5 or
Oh, okay.
is yeah.
Well, what I'll probably do is maybe an hour after you finish your live, I'll probably do mine, and then that way I don't run into your evening one. I'm just doing a prayer meeting. It's only going to last maybe an hour and a half at the most. That's usually what it lasts, unless we get to talking. But I don't see it going over 2 hours, so I'll do it in between. So
Yeah, and even though I'm off, that the evening live will be, I would think 1 hour and 1 hour and well, I think it'll be 2 hours like it was today. So
oh, okay. Well, you can't say exactly. It depends on the conversation and everything.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow, and you have a good night. Get you some rest, Alexander. Okay. I know you're working
I
hard on YouTube, and I enjoy your content, and you're doing awesome. But don't let it get you burned out. Look, I've pushed myself so far that I passed out, and look, it don't overdo it. I mean, know what your limit is. Just I say that because I really ran myself in the ground for YouTube, and like I said, I have some health issues because of it. So um, I bounced back from it, but still. But anyway, Alexander, it's good to see you tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. You take care. All right.
you too, man.
All right. Have a good night. All right, guys. Thank you for coming into this show, and I hope you enjoy. If you came in late, just check out the replay in the beginning. I have a couple awesome videos. Young black lady, doing amazing things, in the rodeo industry. She was named the rodeo queen, and she's a bronc rider too, and doing amazing things. Also a model for Wrangler too. I mean, very successful. Check that out. And Anyway, you guys have a good night tonight. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. God bless.